Yeah.
Yeah.
There it is. Wait, got back there. Got back there.
Yeah.
Got some
Well,
feedback.
Oh,
got a few good things. Got a few things in here.
a whole bunch of PR.
Good stuff. I don't discriminate as far as stuff. I mean, we can take it back. We can,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, depends on how far you really want to go, but
I love that.
yeah. I mean, obviously everybody knows what these are. So yeah, 1000%. We can have actually this is probably the best place for me to do it because now I can when I'm talking about things I can actually like grab stuff. So we're good. And then I think I have all my hats in here that I've designed. I
Hat
think so.
Club.
Yeah, I got 1, 2, 3, 4. Where are the other ones? Oh, okay, I got you. Hold on. 4, 5, 6. 3 bands back here. Okay, 7. Perfect. Yeah, so these are the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, these are the 7 right here that I've designed. So good stuff.
Okay. Let's go ahead and just get started then. So this is the Sole Sanity Sneaker Podcast. For anybody who is new here, we have a guest here with us today, Mr. Teferi Taylor, aka TaylormadeGQ, and I'm gonna let him tell you guys a little bit about himself.
Yeah, what's up, guys? Big shouts out to Spencer and the crew for allowing me to crash the space for a little bit. Great intro. Teferi Taylor, TaylormadeGQ on IG, Atlanta, Georgia, born and raised. Love my city, love my state. Always, getting fly to me is a lifestyle. It's not a hobby. So I think like for me, that's always what's got me into content creation as a whole. And I think just getting brand deals and doing everything that my platform's done over the past 2 to 3 years. I would be lying if I told you that I thought it was going to be this way. But I'm genuinely excited to be here, excited to answer questions that you guys have, and just build on the culture y'all have already built. So let's get into it.
Yeah, like he said, getting fly is a lifestyle. He does have the tag still on that Supreme Jordan hoodie. I did peep that. This is brand new.
It is, yes. That's out Supreme and Jordan Brand. I think this is fall winter 24, if I'm not bugging. See the 24. Yeah, it is 24. Fall winter 24. Because this collection came out, I think, around the same time the Supreme 5s came out. So the Desert Camo joints, and I think chat, correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't want to be wrong and act like I feel like you and I'm sure y'all can appreciate this, right? Like sneakers, hats, whatever thing it is that you collect, like stuff happens so quickly in our space that it's kind of hard to like sometimes keep straight, like especially like when you get further and further years from, like if you were to ask me like what all things dropped in 2023, respectfully, I'm phoning a friend. I'm using Google every single time because I can't really call it off the top of the head.
I think it's easier to look back. It can get a little hazy. Like for some reason, I thought the playoff 8s came out last year, but that was 2023, not 2024. But this year, like of all years, like I can't even remember everything that's come out this year alone because 2025 has just been insane.
Golden year for sneakers. I think we'll look. I think historians will look back on 2025 and be like, "How did they get all of that in 1 year?"
Yeah, that's crazy. So I'm gonna let my guys introduce themselves real quick to any of our new viewers and to Teferi.
Who want to go first?
Want the late man to go first?
Yeah, go ahead, late man.
My name Rich. I go by Sensei Poppy on Instagram. What we doing in our intro? Just telling our name?
Yeah, just tell. I mean, just a little bit about yourself, just a little bit.
Well, I've been collecting sneakers since 1999-ish. My foot stopped growing mad long time ago. But I didn't know that was going to happen. I just stopped messing up my shoes when I was like 14 or 15. I'm 41 now, so I got Jordan from back then, and I always joke about I'm in this era where I think we might be on the the third tier of my sneakers falling apart due to age. I just found another pair that's falling apart. My blue Victor Cruises. I went to go put them back in the box, and when I wore them on the pod, yeah, paint's starting to chip, but I know everything else is coming right behind it. But you know, I like to get fresh. I think I am one of the freshest, if not. I keep everything clean. And yeah, I like to put on a fit because I feel like it set a vibe. It sets your mood, your tone. Even in the gym, I think it's important to wear things that make you feel comfortable and confident. So yeah.
And go ahead and tell us what you have on your feet since you're going.
Today I got on Weatherman's second release, not first release, but second release Weatherman's. Yeah, Sirski with the Oregon jerseys, little Nike fitted. And I mix brands. I'm starting to get into higher end brands more so now than I ever have really been before. But I'm all about a good deal. So these is fashionable sweatpants with the little zipper and the lime green panels inside of the zipper. But yeah, it's my vibe, man. Try to save some money sometimes. You got to mix it up. Buy a couple things expensive, buy a couple things a little cheap.
Heard you.
Go ahead, E, because I'm gonna leave with a question after.
Okay. All right, man. My name's Eli. Eli Douglas on Instagram. I've been collecting sneakers probably since high school, so probably like 14, 15 years old. Me and Spence actually met. We used to work at the same company. So that's how me and Spence kind of got together. And then I met Rich and then Plenty through Spence as well. So then we all kind of just came together and vibed out, talked about sneaks all the time, and then made the pod. And what I got on today is the Carolina Tar Heels crew neck, because them boys is back. College basketball is back. You know,
they do look good, man. You know, I'm a Duke fan, but they do look good.
I know. Y'all look good too, though. So.
I'm not gonna go that far. We can talk about that later, though.
Yeah,
I'm a realist. I'm gonna keep it a band.
Yeah. See, and me and you talked about that. Even though we separate teams, we had the respect for each other because we both got to be good. Because if one good and one bad, and then we play each other, and then we beat y'all beat us, it'll make the rivalry fun. So
right, that's a fact, bro. That's a fact.
And then I just got some regular gray sweats on, and then since the boys is back, I got the UNC threes on today. Little older. Yeah, it's probably one of my. Yeah, it's probably one of my favorite threes I got for sure. Top two for sure. I don't really wear them that much, so it's a nice day outside, and like I said, the boys is back, so gotta celebrate it.
Jeremiah, am I going or you going?
I'm going. Oh wait, I'm gonna leave with a question though, so you might as well. Well, he already know you then.
Well, I'll still go. So for anybody that's new here, I'm Spencer. I met Teferi at the Atlanta Sneaker Con earlier this year. He was on the Sneaker of the Year panel. It was good to hear him and KO and Seth and Dave and all of the other guys give their opinions. I'm going to ask some questions now that we have an official Sneaker of the Year list from Complex this year at this point. So I'm going to ask him some questions about that later. And what I have on today is the Barkley High Forces from Rich, my dude in the corner, my dog, and just Don fitted. I thought I'd throw a hat on since we got Teferi on.
Man, what you know about Don? See, what you know about Don? What's good, bro? I am Plenty the Hardaway. I have a YouTube channel. Just jumped into the content creation and all of that. About me, I've been collecting since I want to say 2010, 2009, something like that. Today I have on I got the Drew Brees throwback joint on. Restoring that feeling, you know what I'm saying? And y'all can probably already guess what I got on feet. What you think I got on feet?
Eric Costin SB 95.
Tell him.
And clean. These things fire right here. I don't see how these things sitting on Nike. Y'all, y'all skateboarders should be ashamed of y'allselves. SB brings y'all some heat. Y'all don't
Whoa, you coming at the skateboarders, bro?
Yeah,
don't appreciate shit.
All right,
Listen.
they gonna be on your
Eli
top
said, I
part
got
because
We go.
you already know they gonna say we fakers over here because you wearing SBs and you ain't been on no skateboard now.
Don't give a damn. They ain't supporting SB. I'm gonna support SB. These 95s are some of the best 95s to ever release as far as comfort goes. I stand on that. I made a video about it, and the skaters, y'all can come at me, bro. Anyway, back to our guest. My first question to you is, I've had this talk with Rich, a couple of people. I want to know, in your opinion, since you definitely do this, you get fly. What do you think is how should I word this? What's the easiest season to get fly in? Is it the spring/summer, or is it the winter and fall?
Oh yeah. Before I answer my question, everybody else, I wasn't following instructions. So on feet, went with the classic, white cement threes. You know, like when I saw Eli break out the threes, I'm like, it's a threes type of day. Third day of the weekend, Sunday. Just I probably just like fake that. So don't act like I came in here thinking it was gonna be that. But yeah, no, definitely wanted to. Good feats on everybody's feet today. That's awesome. But to answer your question, Plenty, I say summer. The reason why I say the summertime is the easiest is because it's a low barrier to entry as far as like effort. Like when you really think about it, like maybe what was it, 2 or 3 summers ago? Like what was the trend? EE shorts and some form of like a NASCAR vintage t-shirt. Because that was when everybody wanted to be a vintage thrift guy. No disrespect to those that actually do it. I'm talking to the wave riders out there. But I think, yeah, like I think to that extent, summer's easy because you really can't layer. Nighttime you don't really get to wear jackets, and obviously a lot of this is geographic specific. So for me, like being in the South, near Eli, I'm sure can attest to this as well. Like summers here are hot. Like we don't like 70 to 80 is like a really like mild summer day. Like when it's summer, June, July, that's 90. It could be 190, but it feels like 100 because it rained the night before and the sun is just baking. So, I think for us, it's, you can't really get a jacket off, outside in the daytime comfortably. Now, if you like yay and you can walk outside in all red everything, I mean, salute to you, my brother. I mean, but sometimes, Georgia is like, it's that weird temperate place where like in the middle of summer, we'll have like a random, I say early fall day where it's like, it may be like lower 60s, high 50s, but like the high will be 80s. It is like, so it's like, how do you really get dressed for that? The people I'm really envious of though are like Californians. Like they pretty much have it to where they could legitimately wear hoodies, jackets, all these types of things. And it makes sense when you look at the lookbooks for like Stussy, Supreme, like a lot of those brands that a lot of us really look at, or still look at, because I'm an old head now, or I'm approaching Unk status. I'm big bro approaching Unk status. I think that it's telling that a lot of those lookbooks are shot out in California because you can get a lot of that off spring stuff, jackets, light knits and wear. So, but I can geek out about this all day. But to answer your question shortly, summertime by far is I think the easiest season to kind of get flying because really it's just the shorts and then your shoes do all the talking. To me at least, but I'm open if anybody else has a different thought on it. I'm curious. What do y'all think? What do y'all think the easiest season?
Agree. Like you said, the like lowest barrier to entry is summer for sure. Shorts and tees. As soon as you get into layering, and especially with those layers being seen, we're talking about a lot more skill. There's a lot of people doing it. I don't want to say wrong, but not to the best ability. So I think, I agree. Summer or spring is definitely easier than fall/winter.
For sure.
I got that question because I don't know if you follow him or not. Trap Soul, he has a shout out to Trap Soul. He does the the countdown or whatever, the best fits of the week, and then he posted something. He was like, it's about to get cold outside. We about to see who really put that shit on. And I was like, I mean, it's a little bit easier in the winter and fall. I mean, to me, it's like you get flannels, you get to put on jackets, you get to put on all kind of stuff you're not wearing in the summer. Because like you said, I'm in the South too. We all in North Carolina.
Oh, okay, cool. Okay.
Oh yeah, and it's like, really, it really doesn't get cold down here anyway. In order to like freak some of the stuff you see up north, because I saw a lot of New Yorkers saying the same thing, like, yeah, break out the Timbs. It's that time of year again. Yeah, we're gonna get real fly and all that. And I'm like,
I'm envious of like those
I just want to say Tim's ain't never like fly though. I just want to throw that out there.
Hey, chill out, man. New York, they watching.
No, they're just Tim's. They fine, but they not fly. It's like white Air Force Ones. They just exist. But continue, my guy. I'm sorry.
Oh no. Listen, I feel like that's always going to be. New York is always going to have a very particular way of going about, talking about certain things. And I'm not trying to open up any North-South wars again by saying who gets fly or whatever. But what I will say is I think that there's definitely something to be said for sure, just about, the idea of whenever you like fall to me is like color coordination, like it's color blocking. Like I really see my outfits in color. Not, and when I say that, people always say, well, what other way is there to see them? Because they think I'm just being funny. I'm like, no, I think, sandwich method, whether it's you get dressed from hat to sneakers or sneakers to hat or whatever the case might be, like you really have to be intentional. So I love fall because it's layering. So like something like this, like Supreme hoodie, Supreme Jordan hoodie, it has a graphic on the back. So realistically, I'm wearing this as a set outside, probably not putting anything over this. But if I have like a base layer that's not really super signaged up, I might throw like a charcoal gray hoodie underneath a Carhartt jacket, probably wear some double knees with that. It might break out the Travis Scott one highs, like the OGs, and then throw a hat on with that. And I feel like that's like a real, forgive me, fashion heads out there. What I described color wise is really easy, like an easy blocking to understand because you're just living in that earth tone, right? Dark grays, browns, sales, creams, whatever the case might be. But this is where to me you can really freak it and you can get real interesting with it, because then it's like, let's say I got a cardigan. And then under the cardigan, I got an Oxford. Then I'm doing pleated pants, and then I'm doing some form of like loafer or some form of boot or some form of Air Jordan 1 low because of the coordination. Like to me, and I'll stand on this hill to the end of time, the two greatest Air Jordan 1 lows that came out this year, or that are going to come out this year, obviously the Chicago 1 low and Nigel Sylvester's Better With Time. That shoe is probably the greatest Air Jordan 1 low I think we've seen in a while, just because of it comes pre-beat up, but the leather is so A1. Like, I think when that shoe is 5 to 10 years old, we're going to look back on that shoe and say, man, that's one of those shoes that just looked amazing and looked better with time. It was incredible. So, I think for me, like, that's why I get excited about fall. It's like, it's bucket hats, it's accessories, it's cardigans, it's shawls, it's Sherpas, it's puffers. I mean, whatever bag you really want to get into, you can. And in the early fall, you can even do the hoodie with the shorts look as well. So, for me, like I said, I geek out about this type of stuff because I think getting fly is a science. You have to understand colors. You have to understand how we perceive and engage with outfits. But that's why I love it. And I guess I'm pretty decent at it because people, say I'm pretty good at it. I'm like, I feel like, I don't know, maybe if I've heard this before, but like how DJs, you'll never hear a DJ when they come off a set and say, yeah, that was the greatest set I ever did. Normally they let the people talk about that. So I'm never going to be that person to say I'm the greatest to ever do it. I'm going to say, I think I'm really good. I put on things that make sense and look good to me. And I'm just blessed to have people around that think I dress and get fly too. So that's always my attitude. I'm just grateful and I just like to get fly. That's really it.
At that point, I do have a question for you, Teferi, but I want to say something to Plenty. I think I understand the way you feel about, like, what Trap Soul said, like, it's easier because you have more options, but at the same time, the more questions that are on the test, the easier it is to get more wrong. I think because you have the ability to dress, it might be easy for you, but when other people start having too many options, that's when you start seeing the nasty fits.
Yeah.
So
Makes sense.
I agree though. For some people it is easier. Like you said, once you get the flannel option, it's like a cheat code. Like there's cheat code staple pieces that can make it a lot easier. And Teferi, you were saying that obviously you don't come off with your outfits and feel like, oh, okay, that was the best, blah blah blah. But do you have favorite outfits that you've done?
Oh, 1000%. I think it's kind of like, I think it's like how they asked that question to D Rose and they were just like, who do you think the MVP of the league is? And he was just like, I mean, it's me. Like it's like, I mean, I'm definitely never like, don't get me wrong. Like, I mean, I think there's a place for humility and everything, but you still have to believe in yourself and have self-confidence that you do this. So yeah, 1000%. There's outfits I look back on. Like I just came back from Japan and I think I did some of my best work over in Japan just from like aesthetics. Like, cause to me, I look at like everyone I think always thinks like it's just a fly outfit and that's gonna get you there, right? Like, but I think there's something to be said about like I went and found that undefeated store in Shibuya. Like went there, adapted up, talked to the people there. Like he showed me like the line for like when people were lining up for that release in Shibuya. Like it was crazy. There's almost 2 to 3 thousand people in that line alone, and they had less than a few hundred pairs in store. So clearly, just like over here, not enough supply to feed the demand. But yeah, I think a lot of stuff I did over there was like some of my best work. Not even just because I was wearing crazy outfits. Like some of the stuff I was wearing was just from my homies' brands. Like shouts out to my guy Just John. Like that hat I was wearing, he designed that with Hat Club. The T-shirt I was wearing, he made that for through his own brand now than Forever New York. So I'm a big person on. I think Richard had brought it up. Like I like to mix brands. Now, obviously, there's cardinal sins I'm never gonna do. I'm never mixing Nike with Adidas. As long I will stand on that to the day I die. It's never happening. But I will say that yeah, I definitely like mixing brands. So like I'll get an ALD piece that's maybe not super duper signaged up, and I may put it with some nice Kith pants. And the reason it goes is because unless you kind of can immediately figure out that I put those two things together, because like most of their stuff, ALD, Kith, they have heavily signaged stuff, and then they have essentials you would just have in your closet and rotate.
And
So
they're
I
also
like
very similar
pieces.
brands, in my opinion.
Yeah, like I like silent luxury. I like things that until you really up on it, you can't really tell like what it is. Like oh man, like that's oh man, that's a human made, or that's a kit, that's like a bait piece. And as crazy as it sounds, like Bape even has some good pieces that are like the signage is there, but it's very minimal. Like so I mean yeah, I think for me that's a big thing. But yes, to answer your question, Spence, there's definitely fits this year I put together that I've been like, yeah, I was in my Duffy on that one. I did my big one with that one. But I think it gets to a point to where it's addictive, right? You want to top the high score. You don't want to just sit and say, okay, I did the best I could do. So I'm always trying to beat what I think is the best. I'm always trying to experiment, put different things together that people be like, man, I wouldn't have thought to put that together. That's honestly one of the best compliments I can get. Somebody said, I didn't really think about that color scheme. You put that together, bro. That was hard. I like those types of compliments because it means people are seeing the world how I see it, and that's dope.
Fire.
Rich, did you have something? I thought I saw you with your hand.
No, I might just be moving around, but I ain't had nothing. Not yet, at least. Not yet. I mean, I can elaborate on my Tim comment just in case we get into crazy. Not that there's anything wrong with Tims. There's not. I've never owned a pair of wheat Tims. I do not desire to own a pair of wheat Tims. I don't even like boots. Except for Baltaros, and the Baltaros that's coming back out. I already ran through them back in early 2000s, so we already kind of did the boot phase. But I just think it's more creative boots that people can wear if they can wear boots. I know we're not in the era where we used to have the Vasquez boots. I don't know if y'all remember those, but that was a big thing down here. And I know I feel like it started in New York, but that was a big thing down here. But I used to love Vasquez boots. And we talk about boots a little bit on here, but Yeet got the Nike boots coming out with the studs on them. I think those are actually fire. I think they did the Goadone. And I just think it's more creative boots that people can wear. That's all. But nothing wrong with wheat Tims. They just boring. That's all.
How you feel about the 40 belows? The
40
big
belows
joint.
was fire. Yeah, 40 belows is fire too. I mean, well, you talking about current 40 belows? Oh, because 40 below been around for a long time too. RJ Colt, like I can name you all kind of crazy boot brands that I feel like people forgot about. Because I think Puff and Mace had on the RJ Colts in the Been Around the World remix video, and that's when those had popped, and those got kind of crazy down here too. and they was doing like all royal, like suede, like they was doing some crazy colors. So, um, the 40 belows is cool though. I mean, not for me, but they cool though.
It's like this. So let me ask you this, Rich, based off of what you're saying. So like, obviously, like for you, like you said, there's a diversity. You like to see diversity and stuff like that because things are going to latch on because they're trendy. But do you feel like there is like a silhouette that Timberland has that no matter how long it goes, like it's a boot from Timberland you always do? Because for me, I think it's going to be it's a tie between the field boot and the original. I mean, the field boot beef and Brock and obviously the wheat Tim because I feel like that's just it's timeless. It goes with anything. It goes with everything. So those are to me two things that like I don't care how old I get. If I see them, it's gonna take me back in time to just when I first saw them. I was just like, man, those are tough. But I mean, like you, I've obviously ventured out beyond just doing that. But
Right.
do you feel like there is a silhouette that Timberland has that you feel like is timeless and that you would pick up regardless of how old or how far away you get from stuff?
Not that I would pick up, but I do think the field, not the field boot is actually pretty timeless too. But the 6-inch wheat, I feel like it's pretty timeless though. That's like white Air Force Ones. Like I remember I kind of used to make the joke like I would never have white Air Force Ones, but I still have white Air Force Ones. But I guess well, I can't blame it on the weather. I think I just don't like boots. I think that's just it. I think I just don't like boots.
I think I've seen
what I kind of realized. Well, I was looking at Bro Page and he real versatile. And I know sometimes like when we was talking about being confident in yourself, and I feel like we all call ourselves the flyest. There's nothing wrong with that. But I realized that I can be versatile, but I choose not to. Because like even when I talk about shoes falling apart, I now at this age, I just can't rationalize just buying unnecessary stuff. Like I gotta think to myself, if I can predict if it's gonna last, if I can get a lot of wears out of it, or if I could get rid of it eventually. Because me and Spence, like we kind of sell shoes to each other. We kind of go back and forth with that. If it wasn't for him, I probably have like 600 or 700 pairs of shoes with a solid. Probably not that he bought 300 pairs of shoes from me, but I would just have so many shoes that I know I would never wear again. And it's kind of like, what do you do with them? You give them away, cool, that's fine. Donate them, those types of things. But I don't know. I just feel like I got to be a little more selective and try not to waste money because it's kind of a waste of money, anyways, if you really think about it. But we got to have our vices. So that's kind of why I just steer away from boots because I don't feel like I will wear them for a long period of time. Like I might get a fit off, but $200 for a pair of Timbs and then I wear them one time. I just feel like I should buy something else with the $200.
Which is fair.
I like ones, but I think right now it's like I said earlier, one of the cheat code pieces. And so like I'm just seeing them everywhere. And I work in a retail store, so I see them all the time. Like and I see like there's nothing wrong with this, but it's a trend when you see like the high school kids come in and they are buying these boots kind of regardless of what size we have left. And they buy like, whatever baggy, whatever, that you can kind of see their fit coming together. And like I said, it's just one of those, like I'm seeing it too much and it feels like a cheat code piece. So
yeah, right. I could dig that. I feel like and with every trend, I think that's the downside or dark side of collabs that probably we don't think about right now. It's like I think with collabs, everybody thinks collabs are gonna push things, regardless of how it looks or crowd reception. So I think that a good collab can increase I guess you could say the value of a brand or value of a product. But I think like a collab that's just too much, like it's always everywhere. I feel like it can drive it down to that point to where like it's like a song that you hear on the radio. Like when it hits like mainstream radio and like every single station you go to, you see it or you hear it. It's like, man, I'm just kind of the song is a good song. I kind of want to cleanse my palate. I want to hear something else for a little bit or a little bit more. And I think for me, like if there is a pet peeve I have with fashion is that I think social media has kind of regulated like what's fire. And if you don't kind of fall within that box, you don't really get the engagement. And because we look at engagement as an indication of popularity and what's cool and what isn't, like I've seen plenty of people like to Rich's point, like I've seen some shoes that I've not seen in a long time and I get hyped just like, oh my God, like I'm not seeing these in like years. and the fit's
Right.
fire, but it's like got maybe 200 likes versus a Tim's fit that has like 2,000 likes. And I think that goes and speaks to a larger conversation just about what the nature of, I guess, sneakers and streetwear and fashion currently is right now.
Mhm.
Is it important to know history now? Or is it just important to know what's hot and to ride that wave? And I pose that to y'all. I have my own thoughts about it, but I'm curious, like, what do you guys feel like? Does being a sneakerhead to you require that you at least have to have some knowledge of history, or do you feel like now it's just become you just got to know what's trendy?
Go ahead, E.
So I got a couple of things real quick. So I was gonna say, for my thing for the season, I would say the fall time, just because of like one of Plenty's favorite, like one of my favorite fits that Plenty did was when you did the green flannel, the green and purple flannel with the jorts, and then the Raven diamond turfs. So I
Yeah.
feel like you wouldn't be able to do that once it got colder. So I like that color combination and the combination of flannel, jorts, and then some sneaks, or you can do pants, short sleeve, sneaks, whatever. Um, also talking about the color, like cleansing palette and everything like that. I actually have a hat that I found that I want to wear on Thanksgiving, so I'm building the fit around this hat, which is olive, like olive green, brown, a little bit of orange in it. So I kind of want to go with the fall tones on Thanksgiving around this hat, kind of like what you were saying, just kind of build it all together just off of the hat. And then to go off of what you just said, I would say you would, for me at least, for the older generation that's been in the sneakers, I feel like they might have some type of respect for you, I guess you could say a little bit, if you know your history, like the older stuff, even stuff that's been older or around longer than I've been in sneakers. And I'll connect that back to Rich and Spence having the relationship of selling shoes back and forth, because Rich might have some shoes that he don't wear anymore that are old, but he gets maybe a fulfillment or an enjoyment from Spence because Spence is geeking out over this older pair and being like, this is something I've always wanted, or like, this is a pair I know when I'm at the retail store, I know guys that know sneakers, or if I'm wearing it, people will know, like, oh, he knows what he's got on, or he's knowledgeable, or he's actually true to this, not new to this. So I feel like it's a mutual thing of like, it helps Rich out, but also Spence is getting enjoyment out of it because he's added more diversity to his collection as well.
I'm with it. Makes sense.
Either of y'all got something before I go?
No, you
I was just gonna add. I think to answer your question, you do have to know some sort of history. You can't just be out here looking crazy and just saying crazy stuff. It was like a video where somebody reviewed the Asia ones, and he's like, "Yeah, this is the first black woman signature shoe," and it's like, who?
That was Keith Lee, bro. Don't talk about somebody. That was Keith Lee, bro. I know who it was. Yeah, that was Keith Lee.
It's like, bro, what are you doing? You got Google accessible. You got, I mean, even if you went off the rip, like, you don't remember all of these anyway. But
not to get too political, but he was invited to the Nike campus. But whatever, go ahead.
Yeah, of course. You know, he got. I ain't gonna go there, but
I definitely think I ain't even gonna go there.
Definitely, I mean, they got Castanet too. But anyway, you definitely have to know some sort of history about at least what you're wearing, in my opinion. Nice. And I do think that I know it might sound sacrilegious, but trends are important. You can't just be out here looking crazy. Sometimes you gotta be up to date with the current stuff. That's just my.
No, I think you're right. I don't think there's not a universe where the two can't coexist. I think that that's what makes like me like excited about just when new things come along or hit the scene. It's like you get to really be like, oh man, like I never thought, because maybe at a time that a certain sneaker released, like baggy wasn't in. So now you're like, I wonder how this will look with like a baggy fit, or oh, like now we're in the slim taper, very preppy, Tisa snapback, Big Sean type of era. Like this shoe looked good back then. Like Vans and like all that type of stuff, like even like the pearlized Vans and like the like Gucci Vans and stuff like that that have come out this year. I thought that was a real cool like revival of like that was like Tisa snapback era, like Pow chains. I mean, Zoomies, Journeys, like those were the spots, back on a certain time ago, many moons ago. So I mean, I think it's cool to you, and I think it can coexist. I think you can be trendy, but if you know history, I think that's what makes it hit even harder. Because like, damn, he did something trendy with something that's like OG heat. I rock with that. I like how he put that together. Like, I like those types of conversations for sure.
So my 2 cents on it would be that you're allowed to be ignorant on, like, the average person can't know when the Hirachi trainer came out or when the 8 came out, or who wore it back then, what the marketing was back then, or what the OG color was, unless they follow me on follow us on YouTube and they watch my videos, then they would know. But outside of that, the average person, it's okay to be ignorant in those kind of things for a certain amount of time. Now, you can't call yourself a sneakerhead and you've been collecting sneakers for 10 years and you're still choosing to be ignorant about these things. I think that is when there's an issue, because, you're claiming like, oh, I need these. This is my favorite this is my favorite that. Like, I have all this, but it almost takes the substance out of what you're telling us and what you're showing us, because you don't have true appreciation for the product and what it means to the culture. And that's just my opinion, and because I'm one of the people that chooses to be informed about a lot of the things that I wear. I can't say that I know every fact about every sneaker that I have, but I do my best to do my due diligence when something comes out, or even prior to, to know as much as I can. So,
yeah, I think that's fair. I think that's a fair statement. All inputs I agree with for sure.
Yeah,
Since
I think
we
it
on
just matters. Oh, hold on, let me say this real quick.
Oh.
I just say I think it just matters how people carry themselves. Just tagging off of what Spence said, because if somebody not going around saying, "Oh, like I'm the guy," Spence, remember the guy that used to come into Foot Locker all the time? That was a reseller. So if he were to talk about sneakers in a certain way, we'd be looking at him like, "Yo, you just a reseller." Like, just carry yourself like that. Don't kind of try to relate to us, because we really love sneakers. That's like the 12s that came out yesterday. I really wanted to wait to see if they go on sale, and they might. But I talked to Spence, and I was kind of thinking, and also relating it to how they made me feel when they came out when I was a kid, when my mom got them for me when I was a little kid. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to just go ahead and get them. I don't want a chance not getting these. I skipped them every single other time that those black and white 12s came out, except for the first time I had them. I never tried to get them again. And I was like, you know what? Finally, it's time for me to get them again. And all I kept thinking about was how I felt when I was a kid when I had them.
Yeah,
that's why
sure.
I feel like I'm a real sneakerhead. It ain't because I got a lot of sneakers. It's because it's so many moments in my life that I can attach to sneakers and how it made me feel when I was a little kid. And I just feel like that feeling really can't be duplicated, because of the time I was a kid. I had no responsibilities, but my mom still did what she could to get me the things that made me feel like I was a fly little kid. And now as an adult, to be able to get them, I kind of get the closest I can get to that feeling again. And I feel like when we have people on here, when they can kind of tell us those kinds of stories, that's how I can be like, oh yeah, you a real sneakerhead. You can have 5 pairs of sneakers, but if you can tell me something like that, and you got that certain feeling that certain shoes give you, that's to me like a heart of heart, like sneakerhead per se. But,
random question: do you know if you got those 12s for Christmas?
Did I get them for Christmas?
Yeah.
So interestingly, they came out a little before Christmas.
Yeah, it said December 1996, so I was just curious.
Yeah, they came out a little before Christmas, and my mama didn't make me wait till Christmas to wear them.
Shout out, Mom.
My mom always, she always made me wear whatever.
Shout out, Mom.
Yeah, early. Like, it might be like a week, and then she'll be like, "Boy, go ahead and wear it. I can see the look in your face. Go ahead and wear it."
Go ahead, boy. Hey, I'm glad you brought that up, because my next question to our guest was about to be, could you name a shoe that started it all for you? Like, similar to Richard's story, like just a shoe that you saw on somebody else, a shoe in school that you saw somebody else wear, or just a shoe you got a story about you think that started it all for you, where it just clicked, like, you know what, I'm in this.
Oh yeah, I mean, I grew up in the 90s, born in 93, so I mean, that's like the era of everything. So Seinfeld was on TV, like, this Netflix stuff that everybody's like, no, we had to wait, for new episodes and stuff like that to go on. I mean, people to call Seinfeld the show of the '90s, Martin in a different world, and that was a thing. Like you would see like I would watch basketball. Like I did things with my pops. So like for me, athletics, that's what really initially got me into sneakers. I was about like the Last Dance documentary. I was probably about 3 or 4 around that time. So when Jordan came back, and for my real Atlanta ATLians out there that know, like they opened up the Georgia Dome. So like where the Georgia Dome is in relation to Phillips Arena, it's close, but it's not close. Like it's not walkable. Like it's a decent like 15 to 20 minute walk. So because of the amount of people that demanded tickets, there were times where they used to like rent out the Georgia Dome and essentially put hardwood out there so the Hawks could play. So I remember that. I remember like it was gridlocked. You could not drive down like over by the Vine City train station and everything on that block, like going towards Georgia World Congress Center. You could not move around there. So like there was one night I was coming back. My dad and I used to take like, Marta to go to like, Braves games over at Turner Field. So this particular day we drove. And I was just like, and I didn't connect it until I heard the date. And then I asked my pops, like, you remember that time we were like driving and we couldn't really move anywhere? Like it was like standstill traffic. He's like, yeah. And then we watched The Last Dance. He was like, that was that night. So we actually were in the traffic that was leaving the stadium after, Jordan, obviously, left and everything else like that. But cool thing to me as far as the sneaker that started off for me, I was gonna say it's twofold. One, it was the Air Jordan Maroon 6. I saw that shoe, I fell in love with it. Um, and it just looked cool to me. Like it wasn't Bulls colors, it wasn't anything else like that. I think it was something about just that it was off white. It wasn't really like crispy white like what you would see on like a Black Cement 3 or a Playoff 11 or anything else like that. I think that really just spoke to me. And then I think the shoe that really said, okay, this is a hobby I'm going to commit myself to, like Rich said, was the Space Jam 11. So obviously 90s Space Jam comes out. That was like my favorite movie to watch. Like I remember we had movie day in elementary school and they would put it on and I would get hype. I'd be like, okay, this is about to be probably the best day. It always happen on Fridays. It would never normally happen like during the middle of the week. So and for like my birthday one year, my folks that got me the Space Jam cassette tape, so the VHS cassette tape, but it was a special edition one. It was like purple. It's actually like color purple.
Yeah.
So that used to be my favorite thing. So I would always like when he would lace up the 11s like at mid court for that like final game. And I remember in 2009 when they came out, and I was like, I'm like that was like listen, if I get nothing else, I'm getting these. Like that's it's got to go this way. So, and that was really like the first time when I realized like I took something outside of academics, outside of sports, something that was just a personal hobby of mine that I just felt like I really wanted to have. And got them in '09, got them when they retroed again in 2016. I thought the presentation, everything reminded me of like the old sliding boxes with the carbon fiber inserts. So think, Concords, think Cool Grays, think Playoffs, think Space Jams. Like I love that box construction. So it was really cool to see that they went back to that. And even the box sleeve with the 45 instead of, the 23 on the back hit, like all of those things to me like meant something because I remember what the shoe first like when I looked like when I saw the movie. So I still have those. I still got my 2016 pair. '09 broke down on me, so I couldn't find a donor replacement. But I think that's definitely a shoe. At some point, I'm gonna go spin the block on and get, even if it's just a display shoe. I just need a '09 to go with the 2016. But yeah, that shoe right there did it for me. Like that was, and it was at the time it was the most replicated fake shoe. If you missed it on regular retail. So you had to move carefully. There's a lot of traps for you out there if you wanted to buy a pair.
Is at the top of my grail list. But I'm one of the weird people who thinks they look a lot better aged. So I've been trying to bum Rich's pair. He has the original pair.
I got the OG. I still got the original pair. I can't do it
for a long time because I mean it's aged to like perfection. It's almost like,
man, that shit brown, bro.
Yeah, it's past 10.
While you talk about that, I'm gonna fix my camera real quick, and I'm gonna grab them so the camera can see how brown they are too. I'll be right back.
It's past 10. They're brown, like Ray-Ban brown, like and So that's definitely at the top of my grail list. I don't. You already asked this question to us, Jeremiah, but I still I gave an answer on what got me into sneakers, but I still don't think it's even that shoe. I just can't give an actual answer for that question. That's
Yeah, I mean, I think like to me the best part when it's like aged the perfect way is because obviously though they had the translucent sole. When it's like tiny tint yellow, like like you just drank I hate to have to put it this way, but like how you go to the dentist office and they have like the row of like teeth that looks like when you like drink coffee and how it stains your teeth.
yeah.
It's like that level, like it's not full yellow, but it's like right in that little gulch, like right in that gap, it's almost it looks like a soft yellow, like almost like a vanilla wafer. I feel like that's probably the best way in color I can put it. But yeah, I feel like when I've seen it that way, I know a lot of people like to, restore and ice the soles back, but nah, that '09 is see. And I don't mind it being like that color. Like I actually really
I didn't know
don't
you
mind
had
that.
them too, bro.
No, this is 2016. Look how much.
Look.
Yeah, that's. But see, I don't know. It's something about like that rust color against those blue pods that just it fits. Like
they almost
it's
look better
okay
for me. That's another reason why I wanted them in 2016, but I almost wasn't as excited because it was so like iced to where like I didn't know if it was even gonna do that.
No,
You
it
still
doesn't.
got this, Jeremiah?
Nope.
Okay. I be bragging on my Jordan cards. Just all the OG stuff. I be hyping about my Jordan cards.
Yeah, the '09 for me is like I think that was just because what 11s were doing with like I said, the box construction, just everything they were doing at that time was just crazy. Like I think that was like the last vestige of like I think real collecting. Like to Rich's point, like you had the retro cards. That was like your OGs. Then you had certain boxes that you knew you weren't not gonna. Yep, the translucent face box. Like you had that. You had the silver boxes with like the Jordan written in the small circles.
The sleeve.
Oh, that looks
Yep.
familiar. I seen that box before. I seen that pair before.
Listen, that box right there, the great like 11s when they came in that box, it felt special. It felt better. Like them going to like the tan and black and red boxes that they've been starting to roll out now, which again I respect. Those got that carbon fiber insert every time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think like for me, that was the reason why like 11s really were cool to me. I actually still have my cool gray 11 somewhere in here, amongst the wreckage because I tear down this wall and build it up every single few weeks or few months. But yeah, I mean like for me, I think that's that's definitely the shoe that got me into it for sure. Still need a pair of '09s. So hopefully, because everybody's focusing on what's new, I can get an '09 pair for the low ski.
Yeah. Hey, shout out to you, bro, because we got some similar things. The 11, that was one of my first shoes that made me say, all right, let's not mess these up.
Yep.
We actually have a hoodie that's not the same, but the West Side. You got the one with Mona Lisa. I got the one with David and Goliath.
Oh, okay, cool. I thought you
I
had
got the one.
That one and the Frida Kahlo one are that was for the Pray for Paris, I think. And then I was like, so you had the merch before the one that he launched with that, because the one I think he launched and then you Pray for Me was the Virgil Abloh piece that they had that he did before he passed. But yeah, his original stuff, like the Frida Kahlo piece where she has the third eye, that's a piece I've been looking for a long time.
I got the Owen Hart one.
Oh yeah, that one's tough too. That one's
got the
definitely
Owen
tough.
Hart one. Yeah. I've been West Side and them been my guys since I think 2017 ish. I've been like listening to them since back then.
I was
and then kind of fell into the fashion side of them too.
Yeah, I was like a big Benny, big Conway guy, and then like I started listening to Wes Moore. Like I think like the Hermes, like Hitler wears Hermes. And then like I started getting into like Dr. Birds and stuff like that. I love his like really brings back that old like 90s Wu-Tang, RZA Liquid. So like every time I listen to this stuff, I think of Ghostface, Raekwon. Supreme clientele, like just that era of music, which I really genuinely like. You know what I'm
Facts.
saying? Yeah. So like,
1000%.
yeah, like I think it's just that like when you see new stuff done that pays homage to older stuff, like I feel like he's definitely on that vibe. He's definitely on that wave for sure.
Yeah, when Tana Talk came out, I guess that was 18. I think it was
Think
18 when
so.
Tana Talk.
Yeah, I think so.
I
That
thought
sounds
Benny
about
was the
right.
best rapper in the world. Like you'd have said
Listen,
Jay-Z or Benny, I might have said Benny.
it's probably logged in
That's how
my.
I felt about Benny.
Yeah, I feel like I think that Funk Master Flex freestyle when Conway and him went up there and
When he
rapped
had on
over.
the Bills jersey.
Man,
Oh, yeah.
listen.
Come on, man,
Listen,
stop playing, man.
look, bro, when bro said spray the driver's side up like I'm trying to wash the windows, I remember I said, okay, all right, this is. I
Bruh.
was like, man,
Watch, nigga. You know
listen, fact, like that bar. I mean, like stuff where he was like, cook it while you looking, or you slow, you broke his hibachi. I was like,
them boys be
I was
talking,
like,
man.
okay, all right,
They
I
be
see what's happening
talking.
here. I'm liking this. But no, yeah, we can have a whole conversation about Benny
Yeah, man.
bars that just is crazy. It's just
Right. How you
insanity.
how you feel about like West Side clothes right now and stuff like that? We big fans of everything they still doing. I
I
got the Hills hat. Eli loved the Hill hat. He don't want to hype me up on the Hills hat and didn't get it
Yep.
yet, but he gonna
Yep.
get it. I know he gonna get it.
Yeah. I'm
I
manifesting it.
and
Manifesting it, you know?
bringing it. So like I'm lucky to know Tiana Denise, who's like she's like one of the Buffalo kids and like has done work like kind of tangentially and in that same space with West as well. So like shouts out to Buffalo doing big things. I'm probably gonna have a hot take. This might be a clipped up, and I'm prepared to take the heat for it. I personally think that West right now is. I could see him probably having like the wave that like you know how Travis Scott had that wave where like he was dropping everything and it's like it didn't matter what he dropped, it was gonna fly. I
Yep.
think that Wes is in that realm where like I think he's like the heir apparent to that as far as like music people that I listen to actively to their music, and I feel
Right.
like whatever they drop is just it's an art piece. I want to own it. I feel
Facts.
like he's doing that. I mean, Complex Con where he dropped his Saucony, or you started to see the actual showing of what it was going to look like. Just the fact that it's so vibrant and so many different colors is it reminds you in a certain sense of like how J Tips embraces color. But I think he's just everywhere, whether it's music, apparel, sneakers. He's just doing that. So I think he's really the heir apparent to Travis. I don't think Travis is off yet, you know, as far as like being the top guy yet, but I think
Right.
it's not as clear cut as it was maybe a year or two ago. Where like anything Travis touched was gonna move, regardless of whether you had to
Right.
wait 3 months, 6 months, or a year to get your merch. It was you were gonna buy it just because it was Travis. And I feel like Wes is starting to get to that point where you buy it because it's Wes, you buy it because it's Griselda, you buy it because it's linked into the culture in some way, shape, or form.
That's a fact. My
Hey,
sock and these glowing fiends copping and going. Come on, man. I might
Listen,
have to buy him because I like the red one better. I know you've seen the
yeah,
red one. I like
yeah,
the
the
red one
infrared joints,
better.
yeah.
Yeah, but
Hmm.
I might get this one. We'll see though, because the whole
Yeah.
squad knows I'm a Nike guy and I'm almost anti everything else. Not because I don't like it. That's not the case. Again, it's back to that conversation. I just want to make sure what I get will last. I did get the J Tips. I love you, but I'm busy. I did get that one. I still got
Yeah.
it. Thought I was gonna get rid of it, but I actually really do love it, so I'm probably gonna keep it. But if I don't get that first West Side joint, then I might go after the red one. I feel like the red one might have a little more longevity, especially with how I dress. I just love an all red sneaker on top of that.
1000%. I feel it. What were you about to say, Eli?
So I was gonna say I'm not a huge West Side Gun music fan, but I'm a diehard wrestling fan. So
Yeah.
anything that he's been doing recently with all the wrestling stuff and uh his brand Fourth Rope and everything, um, I know a lot of I don't know them personally, but I know a lot of the wrestlers and I follow them on social media too.
Hmm.
Um, so with that, and then Rich listening to West Side as well, and then we all kind of just like putting it all together. I'm a fan of what he's doing. Now, I
Hmm.
have a couple of his songs on there, music wise, but me and Spence seen Benny the Butcher live at Dreamville Fest when he came out and did Johnny P's Caddy with Cole, and
Yeah.
that shit was crazy. That shit
Facts.
was crazy. Like that was a
Yeah.
like that song just in general is insane. But then like to actually watch them on stage together perform it at the festival was like monumental moment for me. And I love Biddy and I love his music as well. So if I had to pick somebody from Griselda, it would be Benny. But I love what they got going on in West Side and the wrestling aspect as well. So
For sure. For sure.
I also
Who
want
got
to talk
something?
about you talk about how you just went to Japan. Me
Yeah.
and Spence actually within like the past couple months have joked about wanting to go to Japan. And
Y'all ain't joking. Y'all serious. I'm not joking.
I'm
oh
serious.
yeah, we are serious, but like because of it's not just me and Spence, it's gonna be like a group of us that we've
Mhm.
kind of brought together to be like, all right, if we go, like we want a big group of people to go,
Yeah.
just for certain reasons. Like obviously, me and Spence want to go for like the fashion aspects,
Mhm.
and then Spence is a big anime guy, so he wants to see that too, in
Mhm.
that culture. And then another guy that would be going with us and myself are big into the car scene, so that we
Yeah.
know the car scene is kind of crazy out there too. Can you
It
just
is.
talk about your favorite moments when you were just in Japan and maybe some pointers of like what to do, what not to do for us when we go, or
Sure. I mean, we have a whole podcast segment about that. I ain't gonna hold you. But I mean, yeah, like I think it's one thing that most people will realize when you get there is one of the neatest countries you've ever been to. Like, for the amount of people that live in like the large cities, so Osaka, Nagoya, Tokyo,
Mhm.
like those are the three largest cities. You know, for there to be like minimal to almost no street trash, from a place like America where we're not even as densely populated, just shows like how much cleanliness and order is like really important to the Japanese and just culture. When you go to certain stores, like fitting rooms, you take your shoes off to go into the fitting room. That's mandatory. That's like just respect for that. And every time someone comes out, they clean the fitting room immediately after, even if you're just in socks. So I think definitely one thing you'll feel over there is just there's very much a meekness and a engagement with just servitude. They're very much they like to do things. Tipping is not customary. It's
Yep.
kind of actually looked at as a little bit rude in certain places because it's like my goal in serving you or doing something is because I want to do my best. So like the added money isn't necessary. Um, and that's more of a Western thing than it is really a Japanese thing. Talking out loud on elevators. Most of the time when elevators close, like quiet, like even personal conversations between people, like people don't talk on elevators. It's just quiet. It's just a method of transportation. You don't really hear people yelling out loud in
Yeah,
public.
no, you can't. Yeah.
Yeah, public displays of affection you really don't see that often. And things of that sort. They're just a very I don't want to even say like conservative, but I think that probably is the best way to put it. Culturally, they're just very conservative. Like there's a big emphasis on privacy. There's a big emphasis on just respect. So those are things I picked up on immediately. Being over there just in like day one. The car scene is insane. Like the first night, my father works in Nagoya, so he lives in a high rise that's pretty close to where he works. So I saw a Lamborghini Countach in the parking lot, just chilling. I met the guy that drove it. That was like, which was cool, like to be able just to see that, and it was like in perfect mint condition, silver unibody. The lights came up like as soon as he turned the vehicle on. Then like down there, down like the next side, you had a Lamborghini Urus, Performante. You had a G class, Mercedes, so G wagon. You had Porsches. You had Ferraris. I think I saw every single luxury car at some level over there. I saw a Rolls Royce Phantom. I saw a Bentley Bentayga. I saw a Cullinan Rolls Royce. I saw a Ferrari, Porsche, Spider. I've seen yeah, I think like G wagons were just all over the place. Like, so if you're really into cars, even if you don't go to car meetups, like you'll just see them just rolling around in traffic.
Yeah.
Um, Fashion wise, probably one of the most fashion forward, fashionable places I think I've ever been. I've not been and walked through Paris, and I know everyone always, traditionally lets them have that because of the older fashion houses out there, but Harajuku, Shibuya, that area. Like when you start getting into the shopping districts close to like Supreme, Shinjuku as well, like close to like Bape and stuff like that, is they're like literally walking Instagram post ready, and it's like the wabi sabi, which is like their whole belief of making good of older things, is like on full on display. So I think that, from my vantage point and from my perspective, I just liked like just everything and like how it was put together. Obviously, the dollar outperforms the yen, so things are slightly cheaper. So you can get things at better prices. I got like an exclusive Bape zip up from over there. Went to Capital stores, got some Capital. So I mean, really, it's like anything. Food is amazing, 100 out of 10. I had zero bad meals over there, zero, like, which is crazy. Like I like nor for to say somewhere for 10 days and say I never had a bad meal, and I wasn't eating like McDonald's or anything that was westernized. Like I had teppanyaki, which is essentially what we call over here hibachi, but there are slight differences just in how the food is prepared and on the grill and everything. I had sushi, conveyor belt sushi. So literally it would come out, took it off the conveyor belt, ate it, and you literally paid for the amount that you ate. So you put a dish down a chute and it would keep track of it. And if you ate a certain amount, like there were like games that you could play where you would get prizes and stuff like that. So
Wow.
I'm not gonna say how many plates I ate, 26, but that's besides the point. It was great. I mean, great food, good vibes. Like I said, I had no bad food over there. Everything was immaculate. I'm definitely already planning to try to go back at some point because I didn't get a chance to see Osaka, and Kyoto is more of like traditional Japan because
Yeah.
Kyoto was the original capital of Japan before Tokyo became the capital, in the modern era. So I think like into the anime stuff, like anime lines for like stores, Pokemon centers, any big anime store over there, get there early because
Yeah.
anytime during the regular day when people are walking around, 2 hour wait minimum to
Yeah,
get in the store.
I want to go to Shibuya. I want to go to Shinjuku Station, Tokyo, Kyoto, Osaka. I want to ride a bullet train. Obviously, I want to experience the whole culture. Obviously, it's gonna have to be a long
Yeah.
trip, but
You'll enjoy yourself, bro. Y'all will enjoy yourselves. I think of all the international trips I've taken, like I've never really left a place saying I could see myself living here. Like if it was in the US, I felt that way like after, 10 days and just hanging out and being there. Now the way I would do it, I would want to work a job here, but like my station would be here, but I would be stationed in Japan so that I could still take advantage of that differential, as far as like currency goes. But yeah, as far as like culture, like it was so quiet. Like it was like when I went to sleep the first night, didn't even hear like a siren, didn't hear like people arguing. Like for comparison's sake, 30 seconds after landing back stateside in Atlanta, I heard people arguing about wheelchairs, and I immediately got annoyed. Like I was like,
You was in
I just was
Atlanta,
like,
bro. You
like it
was in
was like,
Atlanta.
like I shit you not. Like the door opened and I heard, well, we already gonna get it. I'm like, y'all are already getting too loud, and I've just been here for like the jet door just opened.
Bro was
Like
about
y'all
to turn
gotta
back around and be
relax.
like, you know what? I think I'm gonna go back.
I was like, is it too late to just hang on the plane when they go back? I'll just want to go. Like, but yeah, I mean, it's their culture is just so relaxed. Like I did, like people don't really move like irritated. It's like people don't just don't. I think it's like the culture that really exists without ego. Um, which
I
I
mean,
which
that
I
just sound
think
like a vibe.
it is.
Yeah.
It 1000% is. And I think the only thing was if you want to feel like a celebrity, going over there as an American black person, because most of the people that do go over there are like more internationally. So Morocco, Africa. Well, Morocco is part of Africa. It's very duh. But I digress. Like like Africans actually sometimes travel more to that side of the world than probably we do, just because of distance. But yeah, like when I was there, like I had people like say, yo, like I like how you dress, I love how you dress, like can we take a picture? And it's not them being like patronizing, it's genuine, just hey, I like how you dress, I like how you carry yourself. Like when I wore my undefeated fours, I got at least like 15 to 20 compliments, all like within the same block of like me being next to the undefeated store.
yeah.
So I mean, like I said, like people over there really respect culture. They respect folks that are knowledgeable of sneakers and everything else like that. So yeah, bro, like y'all are gonna have a vibe. Y'all gonna have a great time. It's amazing.
Now, now
That's
with
fire,
when
bro.
you were packing your bags for
Mhm.
Japan, did you know that like, all right, I gotta bring some shit out here because
Yeah,
of
no,
how the
listen.
culture is?
I was gonna ask that question next. So I was gonna say, how many shoes did you take just total wise?
So my IG, I actually showed all the shoes I bought. So I bought my Brick by Brick 4s, Air Jordan 1 Chicago's, Infinite Archive 17s. I brought Undefeated 4s, Tokyo 5s for obvious reasons because I knew I was going to be in Tokyo. So got to do Tokyo 5 pick in Tokyo. Just that's mandatory.
Makes sense.
What else did I bring? I had a whole of my Dion Diamond Turfs, the Falcons colorway. I brought Tim's obviously. I bought like some loafers. I bought the Whitaker Group New Balances. There was one other shoe I bought. I bought like 10 pairs of shoes, but
Damn.
how I like structured my bag was I had a carry-on. And this is also a big
Right.
thing to remember. If you bring a lot of stuff over there, coming back, because like normally Japan or Asian airliners typically are responsible for the flight leg that you get back home to the United States. They do things by weight. Like so here we do it by bag, individual bag. You now if you check a bag that's overweight, you have to pay for it. For them, they do combined weight. So your carry-on and your personal item have to be less than 20 kilograms. If it's not, then you have to pay what's called like an excess bag fee, which is pretty expensive. So just keep that in mind when you go over there. Like you may if you buy a lot of stuff and you get an extra bag like a remote or whatever, you're gonna have to pay that excess fee to get it back. Or
That's
like
what I was
back
going to
back
say.
across.
Everybody that I've talked to, especially in the like the fashion scene or sneakers, like when you go to Japan, they almost say to pack as light as possible,
Yeah.
because you're gonna bring so much stuff back.
Yeah.
And obviously, it seems like Japan is capitalizing on that because they know that obviously things cost less than that. You're gonna bring more stuff back than you came with. So
Yeah, and definitely bring your passport because there are tax-free stores over there. I think Bape was the only store that I went into that I believe was I did not have to pay taxes on my purchase. For some reason, I'm blanking out as to if it was or wasn't, but I'm pretty sure Bape was. They swipe your passport, so essentially, because you're a tourist, you don't have to pay the taxes on that, there. But yeah, like I think having your passport when you shop is key if you want to save on taxes. You don't have to claim it back on your customs paperwork when you get back. Um, and yeah, I mean, I think if I could have done it again, I think for me, I was just thinking like a content creator. I wasn't thinking like a tourist. I was
yeah,
like, when's the next time I'm going to be over in Japan? On top of that, for 10 days, and then on top of that, I'm going to be going between two cities, so Nagoya and Tokyo. So it was like, yeah, let me get as much shit as I can get off. Like, let me get that done now. So then, like, I have like things that are like informative of my trip, but also like I feel fly while I'm over there. And I only spent one day really shopping, and it really wasn't even a full day. It was kind of like half a day, because I was just really just enamored with the culture. Like I kind of almost made me forget that I was like a visitor over there, which was
Right.
kind of interesting too. But everybody's like, "Yo, you got to go here, you got to go there, you got to go to Stussy, you got to go here," and like I would go to those stores, and the lines were like an hour and a half, and I'm like, "Dude, I'm not standing in
yeah,
this
it's
line
not
an hour and a
That's
half."
crazy. That don't even
Yeah,
sound right. That sounds
it
crazy. That
yeah, it's
part. That's the
like
only part that sounds crazy.
It's like, yeah, but it's like when you really think about it, it's because of just how much the dollar is outperforming the yen right now. It's that's what's making like tourism like oversaturated. So if everybody's going to a country with the same idea, I'm gonna go to this store and get this Tokyo, this Harajuku, this Shibuya exclusive and bring it back to the US where I know you can't get this unless you either got a person in Japan or you go to Japan yourself. Economics, law, supply and demand. If it's a cool piece, it's going to drive the price up so I can make more off it. Now, to me, hustling backwards because you got to pay for your flight to get out there and your flight back. So, really, what's your delta? What's your profit margins? But that's me being an engineer and thinking with an engineer's brain. But I digress. But I think, yeah, like if you want to spend like a whole day shopping, you can definitely do that. It's just for me, it was like we were just so like focused on trying to hit like the Tokyo Tower and trying to go around and like see like different things and experience the culture. Like at least me and my pops were. So for me, like shopping was important, but it wasn't the main thing.
Right. Eli going to Stussy though. I can tell you, if ain't
Yeah,
nobody
I'm
gonna
Hey,
stand in the Stussy,
hey,
he's standing in
hey,
that Stussy
hey,
line. That's for
hey.
sure.
Y'all go eat. Y'all go do whatever y'all want. I'm staying right here.
I'll be right
I'm
here in
staying.
Stussy. That's
I'm
the
staying
shit show.
right
My
here.
brother's going to
I'm,
Stussy.
and I'm swiping the card. It don't even matter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm swiped
Oh,
out.
let me say one of my fears that he overcame is putting my top sneakers on an airplane. I am terrified of that in itself. Like just that alone, hearing all the heat you took to be away from it, carry on. I try to get what I can in my carry on, but
Yeah.
to put my sneakers in a suitcase in a plane, terrified.
No, it was actually like I got 8 of the 10 in my sneaker duffel, and then 2 of the 10 I put into my checks.
Yeah, put them
But
Tims in there, bro. It don't matter if you lose them. Put them Tims in there.
what's hilarious about that is that's exactly what happened because they were the bulkiest shoe. So I
Right, yeah.
couldn't.
Put them Tims in there, man.
Yeah, so I mean, but yeah, I mean, it was crazy. I mean, I thought it was a really great experience. I think you guys will love it. Y'all will enjoy it. It was a great time.
You make
Yeah,
it sound lit, bro. Like
yeah,
just a whole vibe, not lit like exciting in regards to energy, but
yeah.
just that peace, that calm, but then getting to enjoy shopping, just seeing a beautiful land and culture. That does sound amazing.
I high key brought that. I tried to just bring that back with me. Like I think, like I feel like that's probably the most beneficial thing I brought back from me with Japan was just vibing, just chilling, just enjoying
Yeah.
myself.
You got me thinking about over here. I'm like, yo, I need to just kind of just research the Japanese culture more, like, because I
Yeah,
just really try to be a peaceful person. Within
yeah,
like my personal life, I keep to myself a lot, other than hanging out with the bros when we pod and talking in the chat. But
yeah.
I'm really like a to myself person, and that just it
Sure.
really piqued my interest. I'm kind of digging into the Japanese culture more.
Yeah, if you can, if you are into that type of thing, my pops and I did a sensory deprivation tank when we were in Tokyo, which was and crazy experience. Like you're in there for an hour, like and like you naturally float in the water, but it's like
Right.
a whole thing that's like just about like learning how to like just like kind of clear your mind and things of that sort. So I sat in there for like an hour, came out, and I was like, I marked that as like probably when I really just kind of took being more calmer and stiller as like a state of being. I feel like I took it more seriously after doing that. I meditated and get quiet, prayed, whatever the case might be. But I just felt like when you realize how difficult it is to stay in a sensory deprivation tank, not think about anything, your phone's not there, like you don't have anything like stimulating you at that time to like do something,
Right.
you realize how much your mind goes like unconsciously.
No, it's
So,
crazy.
like it's crazy.
I got one more thing. We'll
Mhm.
go back to sneakers for a bit.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
So I talked about it a little bit earlier. I want to know how you feel about the complex sneaker of the year list. Obviously,
Mm.
there's been some controversy. Bryce
Yeah.
Wong obviously came out and was like, hey guys, like you want us to make new models and you want us to have innovation when we're creating these releases. However, we're celebrating the same models over and over again, and like there's only 2 new silhouettes on the sneaker of the year list. So I just
Hmm.
want to know what you think about their list. Yeah.
Ah, see, this is my politically correct part of my brain is firing right now because I'm trying to. I feel like you could be critical of something without necessarily destroying it.
Correct.
So I'm trying to find it.
Well, take
Trying
your
to
time. Eli
find
has his
that
I got,
medium.
yeah, and I got one more thing
Yeah.
on top on with the sneaker of the year thing.
Yeah.
Do we or do we not think that the Levi Air Max 95 was on there just because of JOP?
Okay, so I'm glad you brought that up, Eli, because that was something that so
It's
like
it's
so
it's a great shoe, and I do think it's a great shoe. It just wasn't nowhere in the top 10 for me personally, and I just
no.
feel like he was like the ultimate one pushing that shoe more than anybody I seen on social media. That was
No,
just my personal take.
I mean the shoe that's right behind Spencer's head right now, the Yu-Gi-Oh 95. I would argue is probably a better shoe. It's a better story. It's
Yeah.
like even down to the shape. Like you understand how difficult it is to like make a sneaker that's like manga essentially like true. Like
This
when
is my
you
second
actually,
decade.
if you were to look at the shoe that's on Joey's feet during like the episode in particular that they used during the promo, it's pretty much almost a 1-to-1 identical, like in real life, which is
He's spitting
insane when
facts.
you really think about it. So it's like just the story behind that, the fact that it came with a trading card that was actually sanctioned by Yu-Gi-Oh, the box, the
Insane.
presentation, the apparel, the Yu-Gi-Oh signage on the bottom of like the outsole, like when
He's
you really
spitting.
understand like collab wise, like how difficult it is to get stuff like that done, and Nike did that. Don't get me wrong, like, and this is how I compare the Levi 95 to this. Like the Levi Force was the model before that, right?
Yep.
Right.
How many of us are talking about the Levi Force since it released? Honestly,
Nah.
like even the Denim One that came out, that was the women's release. Like it had its time in the sun. You saw people putting dremels to it. You saw people bleaching the denim and stuff like that. But really, when are we really talking about that shoe outside of that year? We're not talking about it.
Nope.
So like there were things like, and so to me, one, I think that there were a lot of shoes on that list that I felt were snubbed. I don't know how the Joe Freshgood Age Well did not get on that list. That we could just start there. The year's not even over, and we have another Joe Fresh good shoe that's coming out that I think arguably could be on that list.
Super
Um,
fire.
yeah, like
Wow.
I mean, and just the noise Joe's been making. Like, how many shoes has he made now? And in that same 990 pocket, like he's just really doing well with that silhouette. He's experimenting. He's doing different things. So for me, the fact that they were,
And face
yeah, I mean, it's just to not have that shoe on the list at all is to me just seems sacrilegious. It definitely was a Nike heavy list. I mean, I knew the undefeated fours are going to be on there. I had them personally on there. I'm not mad at that. Not mad at the brick by brick fours. Um, but the Levi's, not really too sure how I felt about that being on a sneaker of the year list. I mean, we just had J Tips this year with the Sauconys. I mean, that came out. That's another shoe that again we could talk about. We got Westside coming out with his pairs again. So like you got to talk about that as well. I mean, we could even talk about Dunks, the rodeo dunk, even with the release that wasn't during Black History Month. Like all of the shoes have bandanas that are not one of ones. We're talking about the Bulldogger as far as the history of Black cowboys and Black rodeo, and that being a fabric of America. I felt that me personally, Nike dropped the ball super duper on just
Super duper.
pushing that. Like I love the fact that they went to the actual Black Rodeo and they actually did like a content piece there. But I felt like that release deserved so much more.
I agree.
It did. But I think like that's a shoe again that if it was marketed correctly would be on a lot of people's sneaker of the year list. I mean, we could talk about that. We could talk about the jellyfish. I mean, jellyfish being on the list. I thought that even though Adidas low-key is stepping on their own supply with releasing the squid, I felt like the
Yep,
the the,
we talked
the
about
jelly,
that.
yeah, the jellyfish to me. I get it. People are trying to explain to me the business acumen of it. I understand the business acumen of it. You have age sneakers, and Pharrell to me has saved Adidas twice. When he did the human racers,
Yep.
and then now with the jellyfish. And both times they stepped on their own supply. And I don't understand why they do that to Pharrell. Like now, granted, he is creative director at the Louis Vuitton Fashion House. I get it. Probably not his only sole thing, but it's like you had a shoe that released during Fashion Week that people were sending folks to Paris to go buy it, north of the $300 asking price. You know what
Hey,
I'm
not
saying?
just
It's like,
Pharrell. They did the same thing to Kanye, technically.
yeah, it's like, so that's the thing. But now Kanye doesn't look so much like a crazy person, right?
That's
Because
what I'm
it's
about to
like,
say. Yeah.
yeah, so it's like, this opens up a larger conversation about how brands relate with their collaborators. I mean, it's a conversation we could have about Jerry Lorenzo and Nike, and even Jerry Lorenzo being outspoken about certain things with Adidas. Like it gets to that point of, what do collabs really look like with the majors? And like, I mean, granted, thankfully, it sounds like Pharrell is getting his residuals, but like, is that a chain reaction from how Adidas saw everything broke down with Kanye in the Yeezy line? And that's like, and even his thing of I want my own building where your designers don't have access into it because you're seeing silhouettes come out that look Yeezy like or Yeezy inspired.
Right.
So again, a lot of those demands and requests don't look like crazy demands or requests, but a collaborator trying to protect their interests. So I mean, but to get back to the question that was asked, no, I think the Pink Awake Fives, aside from the scandal and everything else that happened with them, through Twitter and everything else, is it a polarizing shoe? Yes. If you gave me the choice of that over the Off-White Fives that Virgil released, I personally feel like Virgil did it better. However, I do feel like I do respect the fact that it made it on some people's lists. I don't know if I would have it ranked that high, but like with the list that you gave me, it's like there's shoes on that list that should be on there that are not. So it's kind of hard for me to sub out, sub in. The Yachty Air Force Ones being on there, I know a lot of people are like, "Oh my God, it's just basically a Bapesta on a Nike platform." But I'm like, it still goes to me. That's one of like you can't complain about Yachty being basic with the navy and white, but then when he gives you color, then say the color don't make any sense. Like,
That's exactly what I was gonna say. Is that he had leaked or he did the picture of like on his Instagram of teasing the lucky green ones,
mhm.
the ones that was on the panel this year. But whenever the white and navy one were released, everybody was like, "Well, we don't want that one. We want this one." And then now that this one came out, they're like, "Well, like you said, it's a Bapesta. It's just a Bapesta on the Nike and blah blah blah." And it's like you literally was complaining when you just got the white and navy one, and now that this one came out, you're not giving it the full credit
Yeah.
that you wanted it. You're not matching the same energy that y'all had when it was first leaked out.
Yeah, I won't go as far as to say that the list was bought because I think that that's sacrilegious and unfair to, I'm sure, people that put their efforts and thoughts to it. But I think it's a larger conversation about people that are in and of the culture. We look at things a lot differently. I think that to Wong's comments about how we celebrate previous silhouettes, because there was some outrage about, oh, original releases that are now reimagined or whatever shouldn't be on the list. It's like, okay, well then explain to me why a pair of black metallic fives are still going for north of $400 on aftermarket sales, and every single time this shoe drops, it sells out. It's like you can't you like, and this is what pisses me off about some people's logic, right? Case in point, people got mad about the Pandas being sneaker of the year a few years back, right? And what was the number one argument that people used? It sells out every time and it's ubiquitous. You can see it everywhere.
Yeah.
Apply that same logic now to the black metallic fives. What's different? So you're telling me that Adidas, good lord, Nike has never released a black and white dunk? Never in
Right.
their history. This was the first time they ever did it. Sure, that's not accurate. Sure,
Right.
they definitely have. The difference is Dunk had its popularity. Dunks as a platform have their popularity, much to the chagrin of the skateboarding community, because they're like, y'all don't even really like these like that. It's just the current flavor of the year.
Yep.
And now you have a black and white shoe winning sneaker of the year honors, and what was everybody saying? It's a basic shoe. It doesn't do anything. Whatever. But it won. And the same people that were arguing against it, what were they met with? Well, it sells out every time. Resale shops are picking them up and wanting to sell them because it's quick money. So is this a consequence of we're saying it's the greatest shoe ever, or we're talking about where it's positioned within culture? So you can't have your cake and eat it too.
Correct.
Right.
Can't say it's good one year, but then this year it ain't. So I
Yeah.
think that from my vantage point, like there were shoes that deserve to be on there. Levi's are definitely one of the shoes I personally would have taken off. And this is just my personal opinion. So please, people, do not crucify me because I say so, a shoe that you think needs to be on there needs to be off. The Pink Awake Fives, I could probably list another shoe that I would put in its place to be on that list. I just, no disrespect to Awake. I think they do great things. I personally thought their airships that they released with the snakeskin collars, so the royal blue and the reds,
Yeah.
were great. I thought that they did a great job. The pink, just for me, just isn't something that I would personally wear, which is why I don't have it on my list. I don't disrespect it or think it's not a good shoe. Even as a collaborator, being able to change certain specific details of a silhouette that's patented by Jordan, thereby by Nike, is insane. I mean, what Virgil was able to do with the 10, essentially the Awake was able to do on that platform, which I think is amazing. But the color just doesn't speak to me, which is why I'm like, I'm not mad if it's on your list, but on my personal list, the Awake Fives are not. They're not moving the needle for me personally.
So what I think is, and not strange, but obviously, 8 of these shoes are Nike Jordan brand.
Okay.
2 of these, there's 2 4s, there's 2 5s, and there's 2 95s. So that's already 6 shoes over 3 models. So I don't know how okay it is to not narrow down to pick one of each. Like I don't think you get to add you got to choose brick by brick or undefeated 4, in my opinion. Unfortunately, I don't think both of those get it. Especially not 1 and 2. That's heavy. So then you got to choose between something like this and the Neon 95. Like you said, they ripped this straight out of anime. They literally they took off the lining. They blacked out the bubble. They did things more than the Levi's. All they did was limit the neon. The neon has come out in the last 5 years. They dropped the ball. They didn't release the neon on Air Max Day. They didn't really tell a story with the neon. So I think you limit the 95 to 1 silhouette as well, 1 colorway. So that's already drop your list. If you want to drop the Awake, I'm cool with that too. I don't know if I put the black metallic up there either. Jordan 5s do have a special place this year. Also their 30th anniversary, or 35th anniversary, but I don't know. I think that there's an oversaturation of models. Like we have 10 shoes, but only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 models. So
what's the 2 non-Nike?
The Shea and the Jellyfish. So we do have 2 original models.
So the Anthony Edwards, and you know me, I try to, I just go with the flow, whatever I like. We talk about stuff, so I didn't really as much pay attention to the list. Yeah. I thought the Anthony Edwards should be up there. I mean, but AE really came out last year, right? Didn't it?
Yeah, it came out last year. So
that's why.
Yeah, the 2 dropped. I think the first colorways of the 2 dropped, but I mean, everyone's kind of been lukewarm. Everybody's talking about, it's got to be the right colorway. I've seen the 2s in person. I like them. I don't know if I would take the 2 over the 1, but I do like the 2 as a silhouette and as a color block. I agree with you, Spence. I think, the Neon 95 to me, I think that's a personal choice. That's a nostalgia pick. Mm-hmm. I personally would say that I think the Yu-Gi-Oh! From a storytelling perspective of all the 95s that we've gotten this year, aside from the 95 that we showed off the top of the show, the SB 95, but even then, I just, people don't really understand how difficult that is to rip something from manga or rip something from anime and actually make it like a 1-to-1 of it in real life. And just the work Dot Swoosh has kind of done over this year. Cool. If you want to put a 95 on there, throw it on there. To me, the only challenge I would have to you is your comment about both 4s. And I'll say this, the reason why I'll say this. The brick by brick 4, when it came out, just the way that it was received, the way that, the brick truck went through New York, just the marketing, it really solidified to me Jordan as being like, Frank is back. You have new people at the helm. And they really came out Q1 just saying, we punching everybody in the mouth, and I dare you to do what we do better than us. And I think that when we knew that was happening, because the undefeated 4 was teased last year, and we thought we were going to get it last year, which was crazy. And then now they bring it out the vault. I think the reason the undefeated 4 and that can coexist is that they're both unique shoes in their own way. One, only 72 were ever released prior to this past year. And even then, they didn't give enough to supply demand. There's still people asking for them. Right. And then you have the brick by brick 4, which is still sitting at a secondary market price of over $600. Just because, again, for ComplexCon, they released another batch of lost pairs. And still it didn't feed demand. So I think it's cultural moments. That's why those shoes live on that list. Now, whether you want to put them 1 to 2, I leave that to people to decide. No, but I can't. I wouldn't be mad if someone said if the limit of the list was it has to be 1 silhouette and 1 model, one model, 1 colorway. You can't do 2. Then I agree with you. Then you make that choice.
So the reason, let me pose this.
He don't like the brick by brick. I don't even know why we going this far. We can just say what it is. No. We know what it is. Hey, Teferi, hold on. I'm about to let Spence cook. Hold on. I'm gonna let Spence cook. But everybody has the brick by brick except him, and he didn't want them.
So,
but that's what it is.
Let me be clear. Yep. I would choose the brick by brick to go on the Sneaker of the Year list over the Undefeated 4.
Really?
However,
all right, you surprised me with that. I'll be honest.
However, I just think that you have to choose one, because let me pose this to you. In 3 weeks from now, what happens? And this is hypothetically, because I don't think this is going to happen. What happens if the Black Cat does better than both of them? Do we put that on the list too?
Well,
I don't think so.
No, I mean you wouldn't put them on the list, but I think your comparison, I give merit to that comparison, but this is where I would say culturally, this is why it wouldn't be a 1-to-1. This is a shoe in the Undefeated 4 that us in the regular public never thought we would ever touch.
Correct.
So I think that from that perspective, culturally breaking that norm, and even then because what did all the people that had the girls say? Oh, it makes my pair, worthless. Yeah. It doesn't, because the back tab is categorically different.
Yeah.
And the box is categorically different. I met Greg Street at the thing, and we were seriously talking about
everything is different. The materials are different. The shade of green is slightly different. Yeah. I think this one is better. That's why I'm getting into that real quick. But go ahead, continue.
I think that's the only reason someone would argue to you why it deserves to be on it. Now, to your point, I think that's fair, because with 10 slots, the list looks better if there's not multiple colorways of the same silhouette on the list. So I agree with you. The list looks better. It looks more vetted. It looks cleaner. And I think that when I look at this year, and this might be only home team bias for me, that Undefeated 4, if I got no other shoe this year, that was coming home, regardless of whatever else was going on this year. So maybe I'm a little bit biased, so like I can't really look at it through the lens of objectivity that you can.
Right.
But I would say that at least for me, that's why I think there's a world or reality for me where both can exist on the list. At least maybe my own personal.
I understand.
List.
I gotta agree with that too. Spence, you sold me on the Undefeated 4, so I need you to think about taking it off the list and reconsider, because you made me keep mine. I'm gonna be real with you, because I was a little on the fence, and everything that we talking about, how it meant so much to the culture, even though back then I never really even wanted it, but now I have it. I just kind of see it a little bit different.
So in the past, and I still do feel this way, I've been very outspoken about it doesn't matter how people feel about it now, because it seems like there was people who were disappointed with the Undefeated 4s, the Galaxy Foam Posits, the Wu-Tang Dunks, and all of these things that have come back that were never readily available in previous. And it doesn't matter how people feel about it now, it's still, to the people that didn't get it then, it means what it did then. And I don't think that you can let the people now who just, especially the people who already had them, the people who are privy and affluent, who already had them, you can't let their opinion affect yours, because we're regular people at the end of the day. So
we're all ordinary people.
But I mean,
hey Spence, you made a mistake. Converse is definitely Nike, so it was only one Adidas on there. This list is basura, trash, garbage. Get it out of here.
Did I see a fart sound?
Yeah, that was a fart sound. And one thing I gotta throw in here, that respect to SGA winning the MVP, doing all he could, winning that chip. Amazing year, but that shoe, it does not belong. Pick something pick anything from this year. Pick these right here from this year.
Hey, hold on now. If that's what we're gonna do now, hey, we didn't get to talk about it yet, but I think this need to be top 5 of sneakers of the year. I'm going with this color. This is my favorite color, but Jern, that's probably my 3rd favorite color. That might be my 3rd favorite color, and then that brown one is my 2nd favorite color.
Yeah,
these heat, man.
No, they forgot. Yeah, Eli, what were you about to say?
So we'll go back to the jobs real quick. But what I was going to say was, for me personally, and it might be influence from Spence and Plenty, and also your Atlanta native, Mike Rich. Mike Rich, please come on the podcast as well. I think the Diamond Turfs had a great year this year too.
Exactly.
You can say the must be the monies. You can say the Raven. You can say the other colorways that came out, but I think Diamond Turf as a whole just had a great year this year, and I think I'm gonna
Yeah.
put that on my top 10. Even though I just got the Ravens, which are at Spence's house right now. I just think, respectfully, as a shoe as a whole, like no matter the colorway,
I agree with you.
You can pick whatever colorway you want to.
Whatever
And
one.
people wearing them. Yeah, people wearing them.
people
That's
wearing them.
another thing. Yeah, I
Exactly.
see everywhere I look, people got those shoes. I see dudes working out in the Diamond Turf. Bro.
Exactly. I think that shoe.
Ain't nobody rocking them Yu-Gi-Ohs, man. I let y'all cook, but ain't nobody.
Let me interject. Do you have the Diamond Turf that was at Walters?
Me, no. So the funny thing is, I entered the raffle and I didn't get them. So, I don't have them personally. I only have the Falcons colorway, and I have the DT96s. So like the maize and white pair is like, so. I mean, yeah. So yeah, like I mean, great platform. You know, the Oregon joint. Yeah, like so, like when you have
let me
stuff
wait
like,
in the day, bro.
My fault.
yeah, but it's like, but I like that's why I said like to be. This is where like when you have people that are in the culture and actual collectors, like we have conversations that like the higher up executives and these personality driven, you know, conversations like JLP they don't have, because like you said, to put the Levi 95 on that list means that to you, whatever position it was on the list, I think it was like number 6 or I can't remember what position it was on the list.
Yeah, it was
But-
it was like middle top 10. Like
so that means
6,
that means that that shoe, there's not another shoe I could put next to that shoe theoretically that would look better than it. And I think that that's a farce. Like what Plenty said. Like it ain't hitting on Nathaniel. Like I can't in good conscience say that. And I like 95s. I love 95s.
Right.
But it's like I think there were so many other good 95s that came out this year. I mean, the SB 95s, like the cactus flower joints. I mean, there's so many that you could pick that were non-original colorways, like not the mandarins, not the pinks, not the blues, not the neons, not the infrareds, sorry, the solars, excuse me. You know, just there's so many other 95s you could have picked. And that's why I said to me, the dot swooshes, it just like to me again to your point, Plenty, like I could agree with you in the sense where I don't see them out that often, but I feel like that's just a consequence of how many pairs were released, not necessarily popularity. Like I could say that about the Tech and Foam Posits, right? There I don't see the Tech and Foam Posit out that often.
Yeah,
and I have those. I have the Tech and Foam.
See, you're the only person I know that got them, bro.
Yeah,
I didn't even think they really came out for real.
Yeah, it's like and that was the thing. Soul Play here in Atlanta, and I think a couple of and a couple of other activations like for the actual Tekken 8 itself, like got them. And I think what was it? I always forget the name of the conference, but like the gens came out at that conference. And everybody was trying to push the gens as like the ones until because the Kazuyas came out. When I saw the Kazuyas, I'm like, y'all are. I need your plug's number because I don't know how you gonna say that the gens are better than the Kazuyas. I don't see that. It's like you got essentially an iridescent changing shoe that's in the light. Like come on, what are we doing?
Yeah, what?
Yeah. I'm a Tekken fan. I'm an actual Tekken fan. So
yeah,
I just think they fired just because they're associated with Tekken in general.
It's like and they did perfect pinpoint marketing. You pick people that were like key, like ranked Tekken players to like promote it. Like it was on point, you know. So like I think to that end, and to your point, Plenty, and also to your Spence, yeah, like I think that the list was definitely too Nike heavy. I thought that there were other great candidates that could have been on that list. Other platforms could have been on that list. Like, I mean, the AE2, you know, you could argue could be on there. I mean, because again, you know, colorways are moving. You know, they're not sitting. So it's like, you know, and that's where I say again, I think a lot of this stuff is always going to be subjective, but I think lists, if 8 out of the 10 shoes on your list, people can say, nah, I can see why that shoe belongs on that list. And it's not one brand heavy over the other. I think that's as close as we're gonna get because there's always gonna be a shoe that somebody liked or felt that should have been on there that's not gonna make it on there. And you know, then we gotta argue well what belongs in there, what doesn't, and essentially we're arguing opinion, which we obviously know objectively there is no facts. So but yeah, that list from Complex, respectfully, y'all, I don't know what y'all were doing. but I felt like that was too Nike heavy. And the Shaw's, just for all intents and purposes, is the most impactful basketball shoe that Converse has brought to the conversation since the Chuck Taylor. So if
Yeah, for
you
sure.
if you want to put that out there, and that clay colorway, the clay and the butter, y'all did y'all big one with that. Shouts out to y'all. Like, as a platform, you did good. Could y'all have marketed it better? Sure. I say the same thing about Tyrese Halliburton's shoe. Like, I didn't even know that was the signature shoe playing in the finals. I didn't until they did the commercial. And by that point, it was too late because bro's not even really playing,
Right.
after the Achilles tear in game 7. So it's like, that's why I say, like, for me, if I was ever to make a criteria for what belongs on the list, I think cultural impact is number one. Sales to me don't Sales to me matter, but they don't matter to the degree that I think everybody makes them matter. Because again, like we said, with the Yu-Gi-Oh's, smaller group, smaller release, more exclusive, more targeted. Just because this over here 200,000 units, that's a GR, sells out, and this one only releases select markets. I'm looking at what's the replay value of this shoe. It's like so to me, like, sales matter, but they don't matter to the same degree. Culturally, what, like I said, cultural moment, sale, how does it look? Have we seen something like it before? Like, or is this a, like, with the in the case of the undefeateds and the black metallic fives, is this a reintroduction of a model and you just using different things, like the 3M traces on that metallic five
Right.
didn't exist before? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I understand where they're trying to go with that. And then also just historical significance, like, which is a thing that you could talk about with respect to the Bike Airs. The reason why the Bike Air 4s are on there is Nike don't just normally let people put their own signage on that back tab. Like, people don't understand in a collaborative sense how difficult it is to do a lot of this stuff. Aside from the materials, aside from, like, the story of people hijacking trains to get these shoes, it's like, versus 72 of these existed. Then we're talking about the Joe Fresh goods, like, where essentially the shoe is what the No Emotions Are Emotions would look like as an aged 5-year thing. So that's storytelling and creativity. Like, you could really put, like, if I really sat and put a list together of top 10, I feel like that list could be acceptable in most circles. I genuinely feel like I could literally look back at what we've done this year and say, by I'll probably, and you know what? This pod actually gave me an idea. I'm going to do that. I'm going to create a list of my personal top 10, and I'll put that list against Complex's or anybody's. And I'll say that this list to
Let's go.
me, and I'll give a
Hey,
breakdown.
Let's go.
and the criteria, I always tell them this when we talk about like our favorite shoes or why it's our favorite shoe, whatever the case may be. Criteria is a key point to establish before telling a list, so people can understand, at least try to understand how you're making the list. Because if you don't really
Yeah.
say a criteria, then the opinion doesn't really have anything to stand on. You can add some pillars for it to stand on if you establish a criteria. So
Yeah,
that's key. I thought you gave a good criteria.
yeah, and as like I said, like New Balance. I mean, between Action Bronson and Joe, I mean, there's some Action Bronson stuff that, if you really want to get technical, like the recent Action Bronson release. I know everybody's dealing with order issues, so I'm speaking of the shoe, not of the experience of buying the shoe. That could fall into some people's lists as well. But I think for me, like, this episode is convinced me, and I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna get on live, and I'll have people come on, and we could talk about it, have a real civilized discussion about it, and I'm cool. Like, if I'm wrong, I'll be like, oh, you know what, I did forget about that. I could see that being on there. Because, like, I think everyone likes to say soundbitey stuff like, oh, retros don't belong on this list. Okay, bro, show me a top 10 list in the last 5 years where a retro in some way, shape, or form hasn't made it on there. 2 years ago, y'all put the reimagined White Cement 3 on there, and they were
Right.
selling that like hotcakes.
Right.
So it's like, so it just, to me, sometimes people have selective outrage about certain things because their shoe didn't make it onto a list. It's like, yo, why do we allow retros that are previously released on lists, but we've done it prior? It's
Right.
like, come on.
Yeah, I agree.
So also think that your top 10, or like if it was my top 10, or like when we do our top 10 pod, like the top 10 is based for you as well.
Yeah.
Like this is your top 10. You might have a top 10 shoe that nobody else might have on there, but for certain reasons you have it on there because of criteria, maybe a storytelling or how you got the shoe. Like, that should be significant to you as well, not just, oh, I'm gonna put the bricks number one because Complex put them number one too. Like, I feel like you should have your own opinion. With that being said,
Thanks.
I have a shoe in my hand that I think is a top 5 shoe for me, but a lot of people probably don't think about it or probably slept over or whatever. But it's another 95, but it's the Alma Mayer.
That's last year.
It was last year?
Straight heat.
No.
That was last year.
It was
Yeah, it
last
was the end of last year. Like, or maybe September.
See,
So
but
no, I know which
once
one you're
again,
talking about. You're talking about the hand wash cold, right?
Yeah,
That was that.
was
Yeah, the other one. Yeah,
Yeah, the
that one
hand
the
wash
better one.
cold was this year, and that was the F and F. But I mean, similar color blocking.
But like Spence was saying when earlier in the pod when we were talking about he was talking about playoff eights. He was like, I thought it was 2024, but it was it was in 2023. So, but I bought this shoe this year. Anyways, I'm gonna tell the story. Bought this shoe this year. Crazy details, crazy leather quality. Also, when I bought the shoe, I wore it like the next day on the pod, and then James ended up popping up on the pod that day. So shout out to that moment and shout out to the shoe.
I mean, I think. Let me see. I think is it here? Yeah, diffused.
Put them on your list, Eli.
I'm gonna put them on my list anyways. It don't matter.
Anyway, you got them this year. That's what matters.
It don't matter, yo.
Yeah, because you got the Phantoms. These I think released this year. The Phantoms.
Yeah, that's the one that came out this year.
That's the one that came out this year.
That was good too, though.
Yeah, it was. Good. Yeah, I mean, and I think like a lot of people didn't like the Meuniers because they didn't like the fact that they were what I want to say they didn't like the fact that they were leather, which don't really bother me that much.
I didn't mind the leather at all. And every time I wear that Air Max 95, I always get hella compliments on them. I've worn them 3 or 4 times. Every time I wore them, I've gotten somebody asking me about them.
Did those 95s come in like a Jordan 1 box?
No, they just came as so they came like this. So they came in this type of box. So this is the diffused top. So this is like the hand wash cold joint. So that's out to Meunier first. So there are these that are like the F and F pair, like the hand wash cold. So and you can kind of see the details on the side where like the stuff that you would normally see there. Like so cool details. You obviously got the front hit right here. So I mean, I've personally all the 95s that they've done, I've liked. And I think I have the third pair. I just the ones that you just showed, Eli, I just don't know where they are right now.
Right.
But yeah, like those, like I mean, I like them. I know a lot of people it pissed a lot of people off because obviously, you know, the neons, you know, all the 95s that we love were suede. They weren't leather. So I think that's also like a thing that people talk about. I mean, shoot, like we got these that came out this year. Again, another shoe that was like an international exclusive. So it's like I think again, you know, everybody's list to a certain extent is gonna have their own twist and subjective opinion of what they think or what they like. I think the bottom line is just I think the list that I will put together, I won't say it will be accepted by everybody as the holy grail, but I think it's just as a person who collects and has like been in the trenches, I think all year. It's like I mean, people are forgetting that like the top of this year in February we had bands, unions, galaxies, early touches at like the metallic fives during that time, and then you also had the Joe Fresh Goods. Like all of that
I got a weird criteria too I want to throw in.
Yeah.
Some of these people don't even get fly. I don't care what sneaker they think is the sneaker of the year. and I'm a Joe LaPuma fan. Like I do like Joe. So I'm not saying anything bad about Joe at all. But I'm just only saying I don't really go to Joe to be like, oh, what Joe got on today. And I think that matters just a little bit. It may not matter a lot. But I'd like to see somebody, you know, if you give your opinion, like I look at you and be like, oh yeah, bro, get fly. Like what he's saying is not just based on these certain criteria. He also know how to put that shit on too at the same time.
And I think for me, it's just also, I mean, the K-Swiss that released this year that sold out like in seconds. Like who, like to me, like that also says something where it's like a shoe brand K-Swiss that's kind of been a little bit in obscurity lately. Reebok, I mean, you know, with the stuff they're doing with Angel Reese, it's like, so this is where I say, like, again, I could give people flowers and kudos, but the shoe don't make the list. And I think that that's where people find it offensive when you don't put a shoe on the list. Like, oh, you're just attracted to major brands. Okay, let's be realistic now. Because to your Rich's point, you know, listening to people who get fly and actually put this stuff on. How many of us have seen people actually wear those K-Swisses?
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Like,
I know
it's
what
like-
he talking. I know what he talking about, but I
can't
only see
remember.
the
It's like-
ad
it was-
for it. That's all
it
I
was
see.
like more of like a park ranger type of feel. Like I think it was
Mhm.
like it was a earth tone shoe. It was kind of like beef and broccoli a little bit. But I mean the silhouette, the platform was great. It was a good looking shoe. And it was great for K-Swiss because I don't remember the last time that I've actually really talked about K-Swiss in at least mainstream, media and stuff like that.
Was
And
was it a collab?
it was a collab. Yeah, it was a collab.
Yeah.
I just
I was about to say it was Current Frost, but it's another dude. It's not Current Frost.
yeah,
Yeah, right.
it's like
These right here.
yes, I think so. Yeah, those they were earth tone. Yep, green and brown. Exactly. So like, but the marketing, the way they put it together, the fact that it sold out quickly, it's a great collab. It was a good thing for K-Swiss. That conversation aside, does that fall into my personal top 10? No, not because it's not a good shoe, but because in my mind, I look at what is culturally relevant. Yes, that shoe brought K-Swiss back into cultural relevance, but it was and everybody tries to compare that to J Tips with his first sneaker, and I'll say this is where I'm gonna stop you. J Tips was already doing stuff with Hat Club, so he was already well known within the space. He was part of the Bespoke program. He wanted to do something with Nike. It didn't plan out. That's why he ended up doing what he did with Saucony. His shoe is the highest retail price point for Saucony.
Yeah.
And it's his first shoe, and it's a tribute to what his design style already was. And again, no disrespect to the K-Swiss that released, I didn't see people the day or two after it released sitting at basketball games with that shoe on courtside.
Right.
People were doing that with J Tips' first shoe. So then that goes back to what I'm talking about. Relevance, culture, cultural moment. That's a cultural moment. Like, I think anybody that designs a shoe would love to see that shoe sitting courtside at a basketball game, a professional basketball game at that. You know what I'm saying? It's like we saw the other shoes that he released, the What's the Occasion? We saw that at the Olympics during the breakdancing competitions.
Yeah.
So it's like, so it's escaped the small tight knitness of the sneaker community, and now it's a cultural phenomenon. We're seeing it outside of just us and people getting fly. Like, people are wearing this internationally now.
Right.
So like that's why I say, like, when people get into this whole thing about arguing collabs and stuff, it's like a collab can be great, but it don't make the list. Jound has done amazing things with Asics. I don't think I would put a Jound collab on my list this year.
Right.
Yeah.
That's no disrespect to what they do. It's just it doesn't fall on my list. I could give you an ALD. What was it? The ALD. It was built. It was modeled after the Porsche. It was a New Balance collab. That you had to pre-order, and the orders are just landing this year. And extremely well constructed, well crafted shoe, like Ronnie level, Kith, BMW level stuff. That shoe isn't making my list. It's not because I hate New Balance, but I would argue that Joe has done more for New Balance this year. Action Bronson has done more for New Balance this year than those collabs have done.
I mean, the list is finite, and I don't think people quite understand that.
They don't. I think it's the obsession with potential. This shoe potentially could do this, but it's not having a cultural response. People equate sales to cultural phenomenon, and that's where I say the Panda Dunk was the thing that broke the mold. It's like, yeah, it sold like hotcakes, but you saw them literally everywhere. Back to school, parents, moms, dads, people who
gym.
just, yeah,
Seeing
you
the
know,
kid
it
at
was,
the gym with him on this morning.
yeah, like, I mean, they're like Birkenstocks right now. Like, I see Birks a lot more. Like, there was a time when Birks were a very much niche, small community of people. I see Birks
We
everywhere.
was joking on Birks, bro. They was Jesus sandals, bro.
Yeah.
That's all we refer to them as. The
Sperry's.
same dude that was joking was Hoopers, and now all Hoopers wearing off the court are Birks.
Yeah,
Crocs. I'm confused.
I mean, Crocs, like, I mean, when Slade had that run with his Crocs.
The Crocs,
you know,
yeah.
the Be a Sponge, you know, that was an era. And I was like, there were people saying that the sponges needed to be on lists when they were coming out over the New Balance collabs he was doing. You know what I mean? It's like, so I think it's, to your point, Spence, I think you put a real good pin in it. Lists are finite, they're subjective, but it's like the thing about subjectivity is that when you put it into the realm of public discourse, that's what allows people to have opinions about your list, which is what we're doing with the complex list. But I think that when the people that actually do this, who collect, who get fly, who are in this community, like all of these things I'm talking about, I don't even know if these shoes were talked about in the ideation session for building this list up.
So that's the thing I'll use to sum it up, is that I think what could have been done better is, obviously, we do a sneaker of the year pod every year. We have for the last 3 years, and we always set some form of criteria before we do that. So we know, and the audience knows, hey, this is why I chose this. And I think that if Complex had done something like that, then obviously they would be under less scrutiny across the board, because there would already be some kind of reason backing them up, and we could already see, okay, that's why they chose this. But it seems like there was no criteria, unless the criteria is that it has to be Nike. But other than that,
just talk of the town. It just seemed more so like these are the shoes that dominate the conversations in the circles. I mean, it's just the echo chamber for them. I mean,
and honestly, sorry to cut you off, but there's trending sneakers on platforms like StockX, Go, and things like that. It's a lot of those sneakers, you know what I'm saying? Is that what they're looking at? Are we looking at resale value? Like, not all of those shoes have crazy resale value, but it's something that when I go to GOAT to look at, something I'm looking for, is definitely on the homepage.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely trending. I think they took a platform that's a secondary market and tried to use that to represent what the consumer would deal with and say as a sneaker of the year. But they run up against a buzzsaw of people who are actually in the culture that are just saying, "Nah, bruh, you copied and pasted." And I mean, to Wong's comment, it's just like, I mean, you guys, Nike as a whole, Jordan in particular, as a microcosm, has made their money off of selling nostalgia. Like, I can't tell you the last time in the last 10 years we've gotten the new basketball silhouettes we get from Jordan Brand are not flying off the shelves. They're not. I mean, how long has it taken us? How long ago did Jordan play his last year with the Wizards?
2003.
We have 15, 16, and 17s. And all we've gotten is 17 lows. And maybe the 15 that Billie Eilish was on as a collaborator.
Yeah.
And I think the Stelts came out, and then maybe we got a full 17 in the Coppers. But all the other full 17 shoes and silhouettes we've not gotten. We've not gotten the College Blues. We've not gotten the Cherry Woods. We've not gotten
about those red ones. The varsity
no,
red.
I mean, exactly, varsity reds. We've not gotten those. So it's like, when you really look at stuff like that, I had to edit myself. We've not got, aside for the copper, there are other colorways within the 17 family that we've not gotten. I think that we've only gotten 17 lows, UNC's, Lightnings, and then Infinite Archives, which again, shouts out to Easy and Wilson Smith III. Amazing tribute to that shoe. One of my favorite 17s, and a shoe that I would argue should be on everybody's sneaker of the year. If you say you love sneakers and you love Black culture, Wilson Smith is. If you don't know who Wilson Smith III is, highly recommend you go do a Google search and understand what he means to the culture. Look at the box. I mean, actually, don't even need to do that. Box.
Yeah, go ahead and show them, bro, because we all took L's, bro. So go ahead and show us, because we don't have
I'll
them.
go show the shoes. So you see this identification card? Like this, like when I talk about shoes, storytelling, like look at this paper. This paper isn't just filler. These are actual sketches of what the 17 was supposed to look. These are Wilson sketches. They're not anybody else's sketches. The
Bro,
archive.
You gonna make me go on StockX today, man? You gotta chill.
The DNA archive. Like that story. Like how many people, if you don't work for Nike, even understand that? The white glove experience. So the shoes come with white gloves because most of these things are white. It's like they're not colored. So you don't want to transfer oils from your skin onto something that's literally a living part of Nike's history.
All right.
Then getting into the shoe. Hold on. See, y'all about to get me in my back. Hold on.
Go ahead, bro. Bad work. Let's get to it.
And it's crazy because I was just talking to Spence about this either last night or the night before, that if I don't have any 17s, but if I was to buy a 17, it would probably be the Infinite Archive because of the storytelling and everything that goes with it.
Like this right here, the pods being tributes to all of the other 17 colorways that have dropped. the blue for the UNCs, which I have, the yellow for the Lightnings, the All Stars, as they're formerly called, All Star 17s, varsity reds right here. You got the purple pods here as well for the purple color, which was teased initially before this shoe even came out. It's
First
like,
one they teased.
yeah, exactly. That's the one I wanted. I wanted the purple one. I said, oh, we getting those?
I wanted
Yeah.
the purple one too. I wanted the purple one too. I ain't gonna lie.
Hey,
And-
to your point, that you can't tease me with the red ones, the blue ones, the purple ones, and then give me that. Like, nah.
Yeah, it's like, but even the idea of just like the leather quality on this, understanding the 17 is like a tribute to sports cars, to jazz, to like really celebrating Wilson. Like I went to Black Footwear Forum this year. I got to shake Wilson's hand. So like to be able to talk to him, to see all of that stuff, and like to see this shoe, like I said, Easy did it. You see, I keep all the tapes on my like on my joints.
As you should, bro.
like-
We
and that-
OGs. That's the
yeah,
right
because we
message.
understand. Like
yeah,
so,
keep that
so
tape
like,
on there.
yeah, so I mean, you see these are relays, so you know I've worn these. So this isn't just like, oh, I'm just taking this. This is a shoe I've worn. So like at the end of the day, like this shoe right here is more of a tribute to Black contributions to sneaker culture. What we do in this culture, how we set trends, how we create things. Like I said, this is a 17. This is post Michael back-to-back three-peats. And he was still cooking up stuff that people wanted to. I remember a time when 15, 16s, and 17s were dogged. People didn't even want them because they thought they were ugly. They were crazy. Like, what's Jordan Brand doing? They lost the sauce. And along comes this silhouette and this model that encapsulates all of it. Not even to mention the other shoe. Again, we talk about collaborations. What other silhouette of a Jordan do you see where they're putting IAs where Jumpman should be?
Right.
It's like, not even to mention on the box, it's a Jumpman next to the Infinite Archive. Also, Easy to board being from Chicago.
Talk to him.
It's like being from Chicago and paying homage to Virgil in the colorway that was selected for this shoe. Don C, Beach 2s, Beach Air Jordan 2s. You don't know what those are? Go do a Google search tonight. Off-White 4s, Sale, the women's release.
Hey,
it's like
there we go.
Yeah, so like, and then you got these. See, this is where we see y'all about to get me in my bag. When we talk about history, this is what we talking about right now.
Daddy.
I like when you like this.
It's like, listen, like this is history. This is what we talking about. This ain't just trendy. You're not finding this on the Instagram fit checks, bro. This is history. You got to know what you're talking about. That's
hey,
like
we got to get Easy on here now too, because this is our second pod in a row, hyping Easy up in that shoe because he had Matt.
Bro,
and Matt got the sample of that, if I'm not mistaken. Matt had the sample of that one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Allegedly.
It's like so this was the shoe I brought over to Japan, and I did the fit check over there, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
right.
Fire.
Easy commented on the post. It was like, "Yo, I fuck with the fit. Like, good job." Like,
yeah.
like when I talk about. We talk about creativity, we talk about storytelling, when we talk about things like that. That's why, to me, this shoe needed to be on there. Joe Freshgood's shoe needed to be on there. The aged well. Like, when's the last time you ever got a New Balance in every single colorway of alternate laces you put in that shoe? Is like, yo,
fire.
These joints is hard.
4 laces.
Like, 4 different laces, diffused pink, sail, green, and blue, and all of them doing numbers.
Fire.
But that ain't on your list. How can I respect your list, player, if that's not on your list? Like, I can't do that. Like, I mean, and again, I love Nigel. If you gave me the choice of all the things that Nigel has done this year, I probably would say the 4s just because it's polarizing, it's different. Storytelling again, brick by brick, telling his story. People only think Nigel did stuff with Jordan Brand. Bro, he had dunks before this.
Yep.
And Air Force.
It's like, yeah, like, were y'all really rocking with Nigel back in the Go International days where all he was doing was biking, going to Dubai and like doing those videos before the Jordan collabs came along? Bro had Murder Mook and Loaded Lux at the reveal
do the rollout
of the Jordan 4 brick by bricks. Like, when I talk about cultural moments, like I said, I'm gonna calm down. I got hype. All I'm gonna say,
I like that.
Bro. We should have turned him up early.
Listen, I just like again, and I want to say this to people that are listening, because they might be like, man, that man's a furry kind of mean. I'm not a mean person. I promise you. Like, I genuinely love this. Like I geek out about this stuff.
Yeah, it's just
So
it's the
when
passion, bro. It's the
yeah, so
passion.
like
Yeah.
so like when I got activated when it's like people are talking like as if like you talking to me about stories, but you can't really understand why like this shoe when it came to me and it was in my hand, I said, this is a sneaker of the year. And people are like, oh, I think you just hyping it. No, this is a
Uh,
sneaker of the year.
Oh,
If you need any further, shouts out to Kari. Sneaker Fetish with a P on Instagram. Go look at his storytelling that he did for the Infinite Archive 17. And if you still think I'm bugging out, come hit my DMs. I promise you. Like one of the most thorough teardowns, easy stamped it, Infinite Archive stamped it.
Yeah.
One of the best to me in the game of just peeling back the layers. And if you think I'm bugging out with the Joe Fresh goods, go watch his video about those. Like I said, I love this game. Shouts out
Yeah.
to Money Mitch. Bro. It's like I love this
Love this
game,
game. Love the game.
bro. I love it. And I want even the most subjective list to reflect people that love this game too. Don't put things on there just because you think it belong there. This ain't this isn't packing for a trip. I'm gonna just put the things no, like think.
Right.
Put your mind to this and think about it. Because
Right.
when you're aficionados of culture and you move the needle on things, people are expecting that from you intrinsically just because of the place you hold in the culture. You don't do that, then people are gonna question, well, why do we put you in this position in the culture? Like
Right.
to me, that's just like I said, I got activated. I'm gonna bring it back down now.
Yeah, nah, but you're right though,
no,
I'm
bro.
just
yeah,
And you
saying.
coming off
you
educated,
feel very good.
well knowledgeable, well spoken. So I mean that is good for people to hear that. You know what I
I
mean?
just
And that's
I
the truth.
just I just want that for everybody, Richard. I want everybody to like when you put together a list, think about it. This 2025 has legitimately been, other than
Great.
maybe early 2010s, it's probably been the greatest year in sneakers that we have ever had. Ever.
Yeah, I forgot the
top
other
tier.
year. They had the I seen the comparison. I forgot what the other year
Yeah,
was.
and it was cool, but I told
Yeah, I forgot what
my
it was.
defense of them is go to February and you tell me a month in that year that you just listed where we had all of those shoes released in the same time. Weeks, like a
Yeah.
week. Like
Yeah,
bam, this week band, next week Galaxy, next week Union, next week Joe Fresh Goods. Like when
Yeah.
has that ever happened?
yeah,
We've never had that. Like and if we did during that year, it was spread out by months.
agreed.
You had
Yeah.
some stuff that was hitting you early spring, then you had other stuff that was hitting you midsummer, and then you maybe had like your holiday joints, which we always know Jordan does holidays. You know, well, I mean, we there was a time we had the holiday 11 every year. And I shook
Yeah.
my fist at Jordan Brand every year. I was like, am I gonna have to drive to Beaverton for y'all to give me a retro of the cool gray 11s? What are we doing? Why am
Right.
I begging for things? You
Facts.
gave me gammas. I don't want gammas. I want OG stuff. Like what are we doing? And I stand on business on that. I'll fight anybody about that. The gammas to me, y'all gas them way too much. They are a okay 11. I will give me playoffs, give me Concords, give me Space Jams, give me
Cool Grace.
shoot.
I'm taking
I
gammas
can
over cool grades. Sorry, I'm all for the slander of shoes sometimes, but that gamma is going over that cool grade. I don't
man,
care.
Richard,
You
I thought we
keep
was friends,
everyone.
brother.
I know, right, bro? Look, I hate to hit you with that. I'm gonna say, damn, I gotta tell bro how I feel about the cool grade. I mean, the gammas. Well, and honestly, I ain't crazy about cool grades. That's why Spence has my cool grades. Cause I'm a fan. Don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with cool grades. I do just prefer the gamma over the cool grade.
I would even put I put 72 and 10s over gammas. I put I put
Bang.
I feel like somebody gonna clip this up probably at some point.
Yeah.
Like I'm talking about all the like shoot, what the premium suede gray joints. I'd put
Uh,
those over the gammas.
Which
I would
one?
take cap and gowns over gammas, and I would take
Yeah,
the
I know you gonna say that.
win like 82 over gammas.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
but
The win like
whole,
82s,
yeah,
yeah.
not a whole bunch of ones after that though.
I would even I say the Pantones, the joints that came with the history of
Okay,
flight pack.
I'll be okay with
Mm.
that too.
Pantones is fire.
I'll be
Yeah,
okay with
Pantones is actually fire.
Listen, you Eli wearing it, he know what's going on. Listen, I listen, 11s, if there's a shoe I do know and I respect is the 11. That gamma to me, that and this is personal to me. I'm sorry, Jordan and Nike company. This is just a personal thing of mine. That year we were supposed to get the cool grades. It was teased all year. We were gonna get the cool grades, and I'm hyped because I'm like, finally, I can replace the pair that I've been beating into the ground. Then must have been September, October. This Gamma Blue stuff starts coming out. I'm like, well, maybe that's showing us a preview of what's to come in the future. Then as it gets closer, cool grade chatter starts to get quiet, and that starts to get louder. And I'm like,
Yeah.
you got to be kidding me. We really about to get these. And then when it came, I was like, I remember the tweet. I'll find it and I'll send it to y'all. I said, do I need to drive to Beaverton and stand in the meeting and say, this is going to be the holiday release? I don't want anything else. See, y'all, and they did it again with the olives, like the nines. Just give me the olive nines. You giving me this winterized
That was
Concord
nasty.
purple that ain't
Yeah, that was
nobody
nasty.
asked for. Just
Nobody
Yeah, that was nasty.
this,
That's it.
that, red dot.
That's it.
This is all I need.
That's
This
it.
this is it. Winterized, making it an NRG boot, Concord put on this for something else that
Yeah.
I don't need, bro. I
Yeah,
don't
that
need
was
that.
nasty.
Give me this.
Bro said a power cord.
Listen,
a power
listen,
cord.
like
It was nasty.
the only good winterization that has been done to a Jordan to me was the fives when they made the Gore-Tex fives. They did their big one with them. So Jordan,
That
I
Ford
give y'all
was it the
credit.
14 that went crazy?
The 14s were also crazy as well.
That 14
Brown and
was
black with the red.
crazy. Yeah. Yeah. The brown with the
But
red. Yeah, that one was crazy.
this is all I needed. That's all I needed. But here
Yeah.
y'all are giving me things I ain't asked for.
Oh,
I
you
came to
remember
the
when
store.
we did the, not the olive. It was like an olive colorway, but it had the blue in the back.
Oh my
God,
God, yes.
that drove
Yes.
me. That shit drove
Listen,
me.
man. You remember how like Rampage was punching through the door? That was me. Because I was
That
like,
was you.
bro, nobody asked y'all for that. Didn't ask for that. This. It's like
Did not.
not whatever you want to give me. This like that's like going to the grocery store and you going to go get, you know, whatever drink it is that like does it for you. For me, it's the Welch's
Right.
passion fruit. That's my jam. I will swear and die by that. These for like imagine go to the store. Oh, we don't have that, but we have this dragonberry juice that we think you might like.
Nah.
Whoa,
You got some
no.
right?
Listen, it's like I came for this. Well, this is what we got. Okay, I'll wait. I'll wait for the truck to come with my juice. Thank you. I'll wait for that because that
Right.
all that other stuff. Nah, like. But anyway, I digress. Point being, list should reflect what all we love, which is sneakers. So to
Right.
me, if you do your due diligence, if it took you 20 to 30 minutes to make that list, and we've had 11 months of heat, I have questions. That's all I'm saying. Like,
Right.
arguments should be made. It should be loud in there. People should be having to walk outside and get a cup of water. Just
Yeah.
like if that's not happening, I can't respect the list. Like, cause it's that thick, it's that competitive. I've talked to
Yeah.
10 different of my friends this year and said, "Yo, what will be a sneaker of the year?" And surprisingly, not all of them said Brick by Brick Forest.
Right.
So it's like if you really love something, there should be different interpretations. If that were the case, art dealers wouldn't exist, or art
Yep.
interpreters wouldn't exist. Because it's like there's only one way to look at the Mona Lisa. Go look on. There's how many academic articles and papers written on that piece of art. You know what I'm saying? It's like so. Our list shouldn't look the same. But to Richard's point, I think to Spencer's point, it's like the list should encompass criteria that is actionable. It makes sense, and you could point back to why each of those shoes made the list. And if there is a caveat or there's an exception, you should be able to speak intelligibly to that.
Right.
I don't think that that's too much to ask for. Don't give me a
Nah.
statement blaming the people saying, "Oh, y'all want new silhouettes." It's like all we want is just a list that's comprehensive. Like you bringing in issues that's not really issues. We like listen. I don't care the black metallic 5 is on the list. I genuinely don't care about that. I just am concerned that 90% of the list is from Nike Holdings, Nike, Converse, and Jordan. There's nothing else on this list that's non-Nike or Jordan except for the jellyfish.
Yeah.
Does that sound right to you?
No.
In a year where other brands have had just as much ground made and cultural moments, Like, to me, that's disrespectful to Joe. That's disrespectful to J Tips. That's disrespectful to other people that have legitimately changed the fabric of the culture that we enjoy here.
I agree.
So if you like, that's just step off my soapbox. That's just how I feel. Some people don't take it that seriously. I do, in my heart of hearts, do take it seriously, because I think, one, I've met these people. Two, I don't think that we're best buddies or anything like that, but I could tell in just talking to them, sharing space with them, and being in their field that they care about this stuff. So
Right.
for their work not to make a list because you want to appease donors or whoever it is that was contributing to the list, or just wanting to stay in alignment with what's trending because Nike is still the leading global footwear giant, it's like, listen, bro, like, the only caveat I would say is, if you want to put the shot on the list, I understand, because of what it historically means to Converse. I'll back off of that. All the other ones, they can we could reshuffle, or we can even get them
Wow.
about the paint.
I appreciate the passion behind it, because that I feel similarly. And a lot.
You do. Yeah. You feel just like you do.
Yeah.
Come on, I feel similarly. No, you feel exactly the same.
Yeah, you took my spot today, and I appreciate that. I don't have to get turned up, because I don't very often, but when I do, it would have looked exactly like that. I wanted to say two things before we left. One, we wear the same size. So at some point we have to, we have to talk about maybe getting rid of at some point. So just know to come to me first.
Got you.
For
sure.
Because you got a lot of stuff. So
yeah, that I do. I have a lot of got a lot of stuff over here.
Lastly, when you do make your sneaker of the year list, make sure you send it to us or tag us. I'm definitely interested to see what you come up with, and to give you my comments on it and feedback. I think it's gonna be good.
Listen, I pose that challenge to anyone. It probably might say it in the caption. Here is and I put my caps sneaker of the year list. If you have problems, my DMs are open and my comments will not be restricted. Go nuts.
Right.
Probably something along those lines. But yeah, no, I definitely will tag y'all, and I'll be interested to hear y'all's as well. Like, now I'm attuned and locked in to hear like how y'all break down the criteria, and then furthermore how that criteria translates into the shoes that y'all pick. So I'll definitely be locked in for y'all's list as well.
I really appreciate that.
We fought with you, bro. For sure.
I got one more thing, and then I promise we'll be done.
Okay, cool.
Just because it got cut off right at the beginning, so I want you to show it. But the Hat Club hats that you have.
Oh, that part.
So,
part's easy.
It was you had them, and then you were about to talk about them. Then we started, so I just wanted you to talk about those real quick, and just short recap, or maybe a little bit of influence or whatever you got going with those.
Oh yeah, for sure. So for those that don't know, this is probably the first time I'm putting it on a platform. So you guys are getting it first. So I have 3 other hats that are going to be releasing next month. One of the teams, I'll give you guys a hint, just went back-to-back World Series. I'll leave that where it is. Other 2, you'll just have to be tuned in to find out. But this is my first hat I ever made. This was with Hat Club. I called it the Big Ring Braves. I was tired of just seeing red and black things for Atlanta. I had a vintage Super Bowl jacket that was hosted that was when I think the Dallas Cowboys played the Buffalo Bills in the Super Bowl. I can't remember what year that is now, but this is what this hat is designed after. ICUV, yellow, maize, and copper, all that good stuff on the side patch. People are still hitting me up about this hat as if it didn't release 2 years ago, and I'm like, listen, bro, when it's gone, it's gone. I can't do good luck. Exactly. So that was the first one, and I'll probably do these in chronological order. Second one, Free Band Braves. Big music, down here in Atlanta. So FBG the movie was the mixtape that I listened to a lot coming up. So Karate Chop, essentially everything, like the singles that came off of that collab project was crazy. So I wanted to make a hat in honor of that.
Fire.
Yeah, this hat sold out in the first hat I showed sold out in like 7 minutes. This one sold out in like a minute and a half. Like I couldn't even spin the block and get an extra one of mine if I wanted to.
Damn.
That was crazy. And this is my third. So Belongo Bay. For those that don't know, my father's side of the family is from the United States Virgin Islands. So I wanted to make something that was reminiscent of Megan's Bay, so the water. So the water is literally you could see through it. So this hat, I went back and forth with the design team about 4 or 5 times to get the blue right. This is the actual blue. When you're like looking at the water like from the top.
Right.
Side patch is essentially just all of the flag colors of the USVI in that side patch. Smallest amount of hats that I had made up until that point, but sold out nonetheless. Really, this one I feel like from a familial perspective is probably one of my favorites I've done. My fourth hat, chopped and screwed Stros. This one, purple and black. So there's metallic copper. This H is not actually white, it's pink. There's a specific reason why. If you lean into the hat, I'm sure you could probably understand why that's there. We don't advocate drugs here, by the way. But the top of it, top of this side patch, I really wanted it to resemble like looking down into a cup that hadn't been counterclockwise or moved around. So essentially, you can see the layers.
Got a little syrup in it, just a little
Something that might cause your day to move a little bit slower, if you catch my drift. But yeah, like took it like this was probably one of my favorite shoots I've done. Got to Houston, went out there, got to hang out with BP Oil, Texas BP Oil Spill, who knows a lot of like the OGs and like Houston from a hip hop perspective. Got to actually give him one of these while he was doing a music video shoot. That was unplanned. We didn't know he was gonna be there. He had slabs out there. It was cool, like really good vibe. Like Houston's probably one of my favorite places I've gone like in the US so far. Like pretty frequently. I've been there a few times now. Next hats, these two kind of came as some this was like 2 hats I released in New York exclusively. So this one for the this is the Brood in Medellin. So this goes with the J Balvin threes. So the white pair. So the Medellin Sunsets.
Yeah.
So off white, that strawberry jam. Yep, metallic gold on the outside. Side patch there. Again, Batterman, you're gonna get that same jam, metallic gold and purple. Pink
they
UV.
all fire, but that might be my favorite one. That one and that Houston.
Southside of Tiana, she actually wore this to Complex Con. She was like, people were asking to buy it off of her, like, which I thought was crazy. I was like, man, you just gonna buy this sweat hat off of somebody's head? It's crazy, but it's like,
bro, that's Tiana, bro. I'll buy anything she want to sell me off her.
No, it was like, but yeah, like this one, like both of these released in stores. So this one, and then obviously this one is the flights from the 410. If you know about the flight posits, which I think I have some. Oh, they're actually the box for it is actually behind me. But if you know what flight posits are, the metallic gold joints, this hat pretty much goes really well with it. When I did the mock-up, people were like, I don't know if people gonna like that, bro. Then when I did the actual photo shoot, they were like, nah, you bodied that, bro.
Yeah, nah, you smoked that. Look, he about to go grab his flight posit.
Yeah, listen, like if you look at it next to it,
there we go.
Yeah, so like the iridescent, so that's why the gold's in the side patch. So you got the gold, that almost like ghost green, metallic pewter for like the carbon fiber insert on the inside. Listen, when I tell you, like I really sat down with that shoe and really tried to design a hat around it. Yeah, I really sat and looked at it. Yeah, like so that was like
all of them fire though.
Yeah, that was the good feats pack. And then my most recent, which I say is probably the most special to me, was Atlanta's not had a All-Star game since 2000. So 2025 this year, we hosted it here. I talked to Hat Club and they were like, hey, we could release something around the time of All-Star weekend. And this is what I came up with. So Winter 95 Braves, so it's all tonal. This A glows in the dark. This side patch is just bonkers, like from a perspective of you got icy blue in there, metallic silver. This also glows in the dark. Your Batterman also glows in the dark. Icy UV because back in 1990, 95, like winter 95, that's when we won the World Series. So everybody calls the World Series the Fall Classic, but the parade is normally done around winter time, so November, December, depending on how long the series goes. So that was what I wanted to do. Like this was like really special to me because, like I said, I'm born and raised in Atlanta. And it was a historic moment for us. This sold out like the same day. Goody Mob actually liked my picture of when I was promoting this here, and great. Like when and for those that don't know Atlanta, like Goody Mob is Dungeon family. That's legendary history down here. So like for them to show love on this, and I also got to deliver this hat exclusively to Metro Boomin here in Atlanta.
Fire.
So, and got to take a picture with him and everything. And funny thing is, the when I went to go visit him that day in the studio, uh, the Metro Summer album that he's done, the 2 discs that he just released on Apple Music, earlier this year, like Take Me Through There, like all of that. So
Yeah.
some of those like beats, it registered to me recently, like when I was in the session, like I heard some of those, like the formative pieces of it being cooked up. So like, but I didn't know that at the time. I just literally was coming there to drop off the app. Big shouts out to a special homie of mine that really coordinated and helped that come together. So between Goody Mob and Metro getting this off of me, or well, Goody Mob showing me love on this, and Metro being able to get this for me, great opportunity. This is actually my spare, but I have a size 8 that I actually have to give to Young Nudie at some point in time. So yeah, Nudie is probably one of like I think what put my hats on the map. He actually wore my hat on stage with 21 Savage for the American, I think, Nightmare tour. It was like, so I gave him the hat not knowing where he was gonna go to wear it. And that night he ended up putting it on stage, putting it on. They took pictures of him on stage with 21 Savage, and he was wearing it while performing EA, which is the zone I'm from in Atlanta, so East Atlanta. So like full circle moment. Like it's crazy, but that's why I say, like, if there's anything I could give to anyone that's looking to be in this space and do the things I do, just consistently believe in yourself. Don't be afraid to take risks. Be passionate. Be energetic about what it is that you like to do, and set goals, hit them, and reset. That's what I do all the time. So I'm looking at almost 10 hats made in a less than 2 year span. To me, what's one of the best hat companies on the planet to do it with, which is Hat Club. So
Sure.
I'm truly grateful for y'all to let me share the space with y'all and just talk about some of the cool things I'm doing and get activated a little bit real quick. But it was great.
Yeah,
So
we appreciate it for sure.
This was the Sole Sanity Sneaker Podcast. This was season 5, episode 9. We'll see y'all next week, Sunday at 1 p.m. And that's it for the recording part. Let me turn the recording.
Is that how we end it? I didn't get to make my gun sounds or nothing.
Okay, go ahead. Do your. Okay.